Hey guys, and welcome back to a King of the Hill live stream, and this is number 6, I believe, so we've gone pretty deep with these King of the Hills right now, and they've been super good fun, so welcome, let's hop into the game. And as you can see, our first two competitors are Papa Palpatine on the left here, and a very awesome name I cannot say, but is actually a move in disguise. Arista Damos in the chat, what's up, dude? Somebody entertain me, I will try my best, long time no see, hope you are all good. Back for the rematch. I believe these guys actually fought last time, so I will let them know it's gents agreement. So, for those who are new to the channel, welcome. This is a King of the Hill live stream where competitors will fight in best of ones as the king tries to hold that crown high above himself as the swarms of peasants try to snatch it from him. You're trying to get the biggest win streak going and also be the king at the end of the stream. It's pretty damn good fun, really simple rules. We have the attacking rule in play and unit caps. Apart from that, it's pretty dead simple, just to allow kind of newer players to come in and more experienced players as well. The king will always be picking one faction and banning as well. But of course, in the first round, we don't have a king yet. We are kingless, so these guys will be doing a gentleman agreement. Looks like A-Move is feeling very Lizardmen today. And Palpatine Empire, which is a pretty fun matchup indeed. Yeah, what's up, Ben? Hope you're doing all good. Haven't seen you in a long time. So our list of competitors today is Papa Palpatine, A-Move Hacker, Noob for Life, Stormrunner, King of the Dead, Raptor, and Baron. So a very elite list of players. We're trying to outdo ourselves from last one. The last stream was crazy and super exciting overall. Looks like they're just sorting out their matchups as we speak. So it should be some good fun. Yo, Raptor, how's it going, man? Raptor representing all the extreme meme team people of the universe. And without doubt, as tradition has kind of slowly formed in these streams, that the last game will be on a map chosen by Raptor himself, which will be an incredibly stupid one indeed. No, Papa Palpatine is not turned to the best of my abilities, at least. Not to the best of my knowledge. But he's a very cool dude indeed, been on quite a few live streams recently. And a very good player. So it should be good fun. We're also probably going to have a stream tomorrow. We do have an 8-man tournament, quarterfinals and semi-finals I need to cast, because we are hopefully doing the finals next week. Or perhaps a Death Before Dishonor will return as well. We're having some really good tournaments and live streams in general recently. So yeah, lots of new faces as well. Hello Darth Pendragon, how's it going, dude? Let me know if you want me to add you to the list of competitors. Always good to see you play some games. Choose stupid maps. Man, they are ridiculous. It's a very Aristotamos fit, actually, coffee cup style map. I can't remember what one we played last time. I feel like it was the one with the giant hill. It might be Altar of Ultimate Darkness. Could have been the one we played, but we save it to the end and allow the kings to at least fight out on a reasonable level field to start with. Looks like our competitors are ready, and we will hop straight into the game. Palpatine, no, I'm not Tyrann. Well, the unlimited power would suggest otherwise, but we'll see what we're bringing. I'm expecting some pretty crazy builds from A-Move. He's been on a lot of my streams recently, bringing a lot of Salamander and Racedon builds. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, some Maxon Barbs. He's been bigging them up recently. They are one of my favourite units, but you don't get to see them too often, which kind of sucks. Of course, we are going to be on Troll Country, which is traditional for my streams to start on this map. It's nice, close quarters, bloody affair, blood and thunder, all that good stuff. There's some trees on the periphery, so a little bit of sneaky stabbings, and also a lot of hills as well. But for the most part, it tends to kind of divulge into this big bloodbath in the middle where two armies hack each other to pieces, which is what we're here to see. So it should be good fun. Battle of the Eternal Tides is a fun one. Okay, you have to run that by Rap, so you guys, I'm sure, between you will be able to come up with a particularly ridiculous map to play on. Now, man, I'm out on town. I hope to say next time. No worries, bro. Glad to see that even when you're out on the town, you're still tuning in. That is the main thing. So if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. We do all things Total War, tournaments, live streams, campaigns, battles, random videos of me explaining stuff. So if that is your type of thing you're into, or you just generally like being a cool cat, feel free to subscribe, like, and all that good fun stuff. Looks like we're taking a little while to load in, but don't worry about that, as it's actually nothing to do with the internet connection. It's just to do with people's computers, and then once you're in, the internet connection should be stable. And I believe these two may have actually opened up our last King of the Hill as well. I believe A-Move did manage to take that victory with a wild Salamander build up against some Chaos. But yes, should be some good fun. This is one of my favourite maps in general, actually, I believe. It's quite hard if you're like a Wood Elf faction. I played Noob for Life recently on here, and got swarmed very, very quickly. But, you know, for a big old meat grinder affair, it's pretty good fun. That should suit the Lizardmen quite handily as well. Empire going to be wanting to use their guns, bring them to bear, and take away those big nasty dinos, but there's not too much room to navigate. Should be loaded in a second, as this little bar has popped in the top left now, which is normally a good sign. And here we go with the armies. So let's quickly go over the Empire armies of Papa Palpatine first, and we have a large cav contingent on this left-hand flank. 3 units of Pistoleers. Looks like he's going to be realigning all his forces over here. So we'll go for his main battle line to start with. So we have 3 units of Spearmen here. Looks like they are chevroned up as well. They're going to be there trying to hold the line and push back the tides of Lizardmen, while the rest of the army does the heavy lifting. We have 2 units of Greatswords. Looks like he's just moving them up in kind of a secondary line. These guys are the real damage dealers here. Will trade very effectively up against Saurus Warriors. Sigma Sons in the front line. Unbreakable Swordsmen, which is always a nice pick. We have the Silver Bullets as well, regiment round handgunners in the back, and we're doing some great damage, and of course are being sneaky at the moment and being stalked. And we have this huge cav contingents of Demigryph Knights. We have the Lance version. I haven't seen these guys in literally forever. I don't know how many months it's been since I've seen a Lance version, so it'll be interesting to see how he makes those work. 3 units of Pistolers as well, nice skirmish cav. For his leadership corps, we have a Jade Wizard with Regrowth, Earthblood, and up in the skies, the mighty Karl Franz, bringing both Garl Miraz and his Rune Fang. So going very, very powerful there indeed. Looks like that is it for the majority of his army. Let's have a little look at Amove's army. So in the front line, we have some Chameleon Skinks on either flank. One of the most annoying skirmishers to face down. Super hard to chase, as they do deliver poison as well. We have the Pock Hopak cohort protecting this one on the right-hand flank. Quite like that position in there. And then we have a full Skink build. So cohort of Sotek mixing with Skinks with Javelins and basic Skink cohorts. Red Crested Skinks, all that good stuff along the front line, so very, very wide indeed. We have some Cold One Spear Riders backing them up in the centre and on both flanks, which I really like as well, helping the little Skink boys really pay for themselves. We also have a Skink Priest of Heavens, kind of Windblast and Harmonic Convergence, and a Saurus Old Blood with the Amulet of Itzel indeed. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Great Swords are going to have a field day, but they will also be swarmed by numbers. The Cav battle, I think, could be very, very key here. Can he shut down the Pistoliers and deal with these Demigryphs, who are going for a charge on the Poe Hopak? I don't know if they want to take this fight. These guys are not anti-large. They have the Lancers and not the Halberds, and of course the Poe Hopak cohort, much less elite. They are taking some shots from Pistoliers though, so maybe a good engagement, but he does have some reinforcing Cold Ones piling in as well. Skinks trying their best to push off the Pistoliers, and the front line has got underway here. Saurus Old Blood going straight into the mix, but now getting a little poke in the butt from Karl Franz of all his buffs popped. I'm assuming, yeah, Amulet of Itzel is down, giving that nice resistance. Demigryphs on this other flank, so it looks like there was 2 units of the Lancers have once again been caught by Cold One Spear Riders who have saturated on top of Red Crested Skinks. Really bad news for those Demigryphs who need to fall back. The main battle line is a very kind of zigzaggy battle here. Looks like some Pistolers have been forced off, and these Demigryphs as well, so cav engagement going very good for the Lizardmen. Getting some healing in the back line though, trying to make this fight a little bit more sticky. And in the front lines, Greatsword's doing a pretty decent job. Looks like we do have a Wind Blast coming down on the Silver Bullets. Nice play from Amove there. The Greatswords slowly getting dragged down by Red Crested Skinks though, and constant fire from the Skink cohorts with Javelins. Looks like the Skink Priests take a little bit of a barrage there, so he's going to be falling back quite nicely. And it looks like the Lord Duel was a little bit of a wet noodle contest in the end, neither of them really touching each other too much. Silver Bullets though turning their fury onto the Saurus Old Blood, who needs to back out of there. The rest of the battle is going fairly well for the Lizardmen. Looks like Greatswords doing some decent kills overall, Sigma Sons as well, but the Lizardmen are just swarming here, and this is really nice play over here. Getting 1 unit of Cold One Spear Riders to chase off both the units of Pistoliers, stopping them coming back, just escorting them off, pushing them off there, and be able to bring those guys back to the main fight. So using 1 unit there to get rid of 2, which is really nice. Karl Franz has landed in the midst here, but he's going to get surrounded by Cold One Spear Riders and Red Crested Skinks. Not where he really wants to be overall. Looks like he might be able to escape and get back up into the sky. But that Saurus Old Blood is hungry, and he is pushing for that Jade Wizard right now. Bounding in and getting a nice bite on the back there. And that Jade Wizard takes almost half health from 1 hit. And is instantly tear routed as well. Cohort of Sotek, very healthy, going to be coming into the rear of these greatswords, pinned between the skinks. They will slowly get dragged down, and that seems to be the message across the whole battlefield here. Lizard men just swarming in and dealing with the cav very effectively, 2v1 in them in a lot of cases, with the Cold One Riders mixed in with some skinks. So Old Blood, once again, in quite dangerous territory here as Karl Franz does come in. He's got some skinks for support, but they don't really want to get involved here. In fact, they do decide to push off the Silver Bullets instead. But even if the Saurus Old Blood goes down, I think it's going to be a very tough kind of call to bring this back for the Empire. And some Cold One Riders are starting to rally as well to the aid of the Saurus Old Blood. But, you know, he will lose this fight 1-on-1, but at least he's distracting Karl Franz, who's getting a fat regrowth on him, while the rest of his army is slowly being picked apart by some very nasty lizards. We do have a healthy unit of great swords here, though, so maybe if he can saturate on top of Karl Franz for a bit of protection, we have a lot of decent healing left as well. This game may be able to have an unlikely comeback here from the Empire. Gonna hear someone screaming there. I assume that is the Jade Wizard trying to escape the Saurus Old Blood, but he's giving him the Duke so far, and managed to do his best kind of Jagger moves there and escape so far. Saurus Old Blood going to have to flee back, but there's so many Lizmen forces on this left flank. He should be able to get some easy protection. And the rest of the Empire are being dragged down. Great swords fighting side by side with the Sigma's Sons, the most holy of all swordsmen. But Skink's going to be a pain, especially the Cold One Spear Riders. Not really any anti-large left on the field. Saurus Old Blood, in fact, coming over as well to say hello. Chameleon Skinks are now going to be slowly focus firing down Karl Franz, who's popped all his buffs. He might be able to finish off the Skink Priest in 1 or 2 hits if he tries, but he's getting bogged down here by Cohort of Sotek, which is really not where he wants to be at all. We have some rallying spearmen in the distance, seeing the bravery of Karl Franz starting to return to the battlefield. And let's have a little look. Looks like for the most part this is what you get here, and it is just a tide of lizards right now. But if he can snipe the Saurus Old Blood, he might be able to get some huge tear outs on all these little skinks who don't have the best leadership. But really nice play here, dragging Karl Franz through all this muck in the middle here. Great swords are being tear outed now, and I think Power Balance has kind of been at this kind of gap for a while here, so armor losses aren't setting in yet. Saurus Old Blood, though, comes with a massive hit on Karl Franz, and he is just surrounded now by lizard warriors. Great swords, though, are wavering, but are they going to be able to rally? Leadership is not looking too tasty there, bouncing between 6 and negative. And some Cold One Spear Riders just chasing off those spearmen where they can. They may be anti-large, but they're not going to be able to touch them in their weakened state. It's a really nice play there, and it is literally Karl Franz versus the world at this point. If I may move in the Lizardmen, I'm just trying to break off these great swords, constantly cycle charging them, forcing them off, chasing them down, and then allowing all my chaff to bring down Karl Franz here. But yeah, those spearmen, they're not going to be coming back. Really nice kind of diligent play here, forcing those guys off where possible. Karl Franz starting to waver the hope of humanity, and it looks like he does in fact break. That is going to be army losses and GG. So we do have our first king of the day, and it is Mr. A-Move. I like being entertained when I am too lazy to do something useful. That sums up most of my days of YouTube. Warm Blood stand no chance against the children of the old ones. You're damn right here. That was some really nice play. Really awesome build height. I like the 4 Cold One Spear Riders saturating on top of the Skinks to help deal with these Demigraphs. Really surprised he bought the Lance variety. If anyone's got any ideas, if the meta's been changed slightly, bring those guys in, do let me know. I think the Halberds much better in this matchup and would have helped deal with the Cold One Spear Riders way more effectively in my opinion. But overall, very GG's and good play overall. GG. So let's update the scoreboard. So A-Move is going to be up to 1. And our next challenger is going to be Noob for Life. A very cool dude, and a guy who's been on the channel quite a lot before as well. Interesting to see how he competes here. He did very good in our last Death Before Dishonor as well. I can't remember who he lost to. He went down 2-1 to either Flying Tackle or Chosen One, but it was a very good performance overall. I was very sad there was no Max on Barbs as well. They are invisible. Ah, that's why they're incredibly OP at the moment. So we are going to switch maps, and we'll just pop up to Tower of Horeth now. So I'm just going to be randomly picking fairly competitive maps until the late game, where we will let Raptor loose onto the onto the map picking and see how that goes. We need another beta to fix that. Oh, so many betas. So this is currently being played on the latest beta, which fixes a few small bugs like the chevron bug and so forth. But hopefully we'll be going live soon and we'll all be on the same format. So if you do want to get involved, let me know and I'll add you to the list. So let's check Discord, make sure we're all good. Looks like we're all good there. So, I'll see you next time, Pappy. And we'll get New for Life in. Hello, David the White Lizard, how's it going? Hope you're all good, Storm. No, that's the Umbral Tide, that's really funny. No, he's kind of tricking him there with the Maxim barbs a little bit. But unfortunately, we are going to have to say goodbye to Papa P. Hopefully see him in the chat in a second. Cool, good luck with your reign. So all hail A-Move, the new king. And let's get in New for Life. I definitely have as a friend on here. So we have our first Extreme Meme Team representative coming in. We have a few of them today. May I pick the before the last map? Sure, man. We'll get you and Raptor in to do the last couple of maps. We will see. Well, we might get one or two of the guys who have played before to come back as well to do the maps. I'm going to give some of the guys, we've got a little shorter list than last week. Last week was ridiculous. We had like 14 players or something insane. Yo, New for Life. Looks like he might be going Norska straight out the gate, which is really tough for Lizardmen to deal with, so it'll be interesting to see if A-Move does stick with them. But yes, yes. Let's see what they're going for. King picks and bans. So we are on Tower of Hoeth. Really fun map overall. This huge open plain without too many hills to kind of mess you up. There's some in the background. But for the most part, nice flat battlefield. But on the right-hand flank, there's a huge amount of trees, big old forest. So you can do lots of sneaky stabbings. But it is quite predictable at the same time. And if you're a gun army, do not fear. You can still kind of sit back in one of these corners and advance up the left-hand flank. So it's pretty cool. There's also a big old high-elf fortress. You can actually deploy some troops, and a lot of people don't know, in Vanguard, which is really good fun. And I'm sure the high elves will be peeking out the top of their castle. So it looks like we could have some Lizardmen Dark Elf action, which is pretty even matchup at the moment. A lot of people think Dark Elves counter Lizardmen, but I think in the hands of a good Lizardman play, it's actually really balanced and quite good fun. Hey, Palpatine, very well played, man. You did a good game. That was pretty close. I'm interested to see why you took the Demigriff of Lancers instead of the Halberd version, which I think probably is safer pick up against Lizardmen. Almost want to do Mirror. I love my Lizzie boys. Okay, it looks like we do in fact have... Oh. Not sure what he's going for. We'll wait and see. Oh, we've got a message on Discord from Mr. Bam. Did you add me on Steam? No, I have not yet. I will do it now. Add a friend. So Baron will be playing later on. Looks like we have Lizardmen on Lizardmen action, which is going to be pretty insane and horrible to cast. No, Dark Elves do not counter Lizardmen unless they got another DLC when I was gone. Their chariots, bro, counter Lizardmen hard at the moment. They are very, very powerful, but this beta does fix them a little bit and take away their health. I'm not sure how long you've been gone for, bro. Haven't seen you in quite a while, but the Scourge Runner chariots are insanely good up against Lizardmen. They have been nerfed slightly, but there's a few builds that I've seen that have managed to counter it quite effectively. This is going to be an absolute nightmare to cast. I will ask one of them to change colour schemes and go to a sub-faction, but then it kind of limits you slightly on what units you can bring, so we will simply try our best. What's up, Noel? How's it going, dude? Nice to meet you. Darth Pendragon, I think it's an equal matchup. I think you're right. I think you're definitely right. There's so many good tools the Lizardmen can still bring. Solar engines are pretty good at dealing with the Scourge Runner chariots, mixing with chameleon skinks to push them away and keep them at arm's reach. At the same time, ancient salamanders can do devastating damage to Dark Elf infantry. Hey, it looks like New for Life is going to go with a sub-faction, so that's pretty useful. And is that Tic-Tac-Toes? No way is he going to bring Tic-Tac-Toe. That'd be pretty impressive. I know A-Move has actually been a bit of a representative for Tic-Tac-Toe in recent weeks, saying that he actually brings him in certain matchups. This is how the dinosaurs died out. You haven't met the Scourge Runner chariots, man. You've been gone for so long. They are incredibly powerful. The rest of the new Dark Elf units were, fairly cool and stuff, but those were the real standout kind of powerhouses from the latest DLC. But they have been nerfed on this beta, lowering their health slightly, because they were just so tanky. They had ridiculous amounts of health, long-range AP, could run over skinks effectively as well, and just very nasty. But, they have sorted it out. Looks like we have 2 sub-factions coming in as well now, so that's Tehena wins, I believe, and Tic-Tac-Toe. Should be good fun. How can I play, dude? Well, simply I can add you to the list here, or if you do have Discord, please send me a message on there. I can add you to my Discord, and we'll get you in. Oh, it's El Halcone. How's it going, bro? I will add you to the list right now, but message me on Discord. My name is Arabiducker War. I can add you to my Discord where you can hop in the queue, but I'll write your name down anyway, so I won't forget. Tic-Tac-Toe's ironically good versus lizards. That's upsetting. Cool, just got your message, Raptor, as well. No worries, bro. Hopefully your game will get fixed. That was a problem. Oh, it was you who was having that problem the other day on stream, which is really unfortunate. Those who don't know, Raptor does stream over on Twitch, so go check him out after this. I'm not sure if he's got any videos up yet, but keep it in mind and go check him out when you can. So these guys sort their matchups out. But no worries, Noel. I have added you to the list. But yeah, just drop me a message on Discord and I'll add you in, and it's an easier way of organising. But it should be good fun. I've just seen your map suggestion at Aristodemus. Remind me at the time, but we will try and get that in. Good. Cool. Just gonna add you to the Discord, man. Boop. Cool. Just gonna hop back in the game, make sure they're not waiting on me. No, they're all good so far. You think you're going to see 2 Temple Guard boxes? That could be, yeah, that could be a bit of a grind fest, but it should be good fun, though. I haven't cast a mirror match before, I don't think. People tend to kind of avoid them, and in tournaments, obviously, I don't allow them, but in the King of the Hill is a lot more relaxed. I allow a lot of newer players in, a lot of experienced players, and just kind of, limited rules. Unit caps are on. You have to abide by the attacking rule from the Warhammer Cup rules. I believe also Aerocratics rules have the exact same one. But apart from that, you can pretty much do what you want. It's pretty chill, and it's just good fun trying to get the longest streak possible. Where is the list? On the Discord, there is one that's called King of the Hill Q, I believe, but I can confirm. So Papa P has played. We have A move up against Noob for Life now, and then up next it will be Stormrunner, King of the Dead, Raptor, Baron, and then yourself. And then probably 1 or 2 more people will get added as we go along. So I believe you have this game, then 2, 3, 4, 5, so 6 games. But they go through fairly quickly, as most people are on the stream, so the turnover's really quick. It's best of 1, so, we should definitely get to you quite quickly. And we are good to go. Going to be really interesting to see. You don't often prepare to face yourself when you're Lizmen, so I don't know what the meta is here. I wouldn't know what to bring myself. Temple Guard is a good shout, I think. Can deal with the large dinosaurs and also kind of turn up and destroy most of the enemy infantry as well. But then again, We've seen some pretty wild builds by both of these guys. A-Move often brings some off-meta picks, and New for Life representing the Extreme Meme team, so I'm expecting some pretty wild stuff indeed. Just going to quickly check my Discord. Raptor, that image is incredible. I'll try and get that on the stream at the end. So Raptor's got a friend who's trying to design like an emblem for my Discord and for my channel. I have it up here as well because currently I just have like a stock Warhammer photo, and it's definitely something awesome. So let's go through Noob for Life's build, and it looks like he's gone very skink heavy. So we have skink cohorts for the main front line all the way along with one chevron up. So the basic ones, no javelins here. We also have the cohort of Sotek, regiment renowned skinks who will refuse to die because that is how badass they are. And a very cool colour scheme indeed as well. So very cheap and cheerful front line for the most part. We also have some dinosaurs, so we have a Feral Stegodon, going to be very tanky, and 2 units of the Salamander Hunting Pack is going to be really nice pick, actually, for taking down big, nasty monsters. Over on the left-hand flank, we do have a Feral Carnosaur, and I believe I saw the greatest doggo of all time, a Flaming Doggo here, an Ancient Salamander, going to be a great counter pick up against Temple Guard and Saurus in general. And then up in the sky, the little air core here, we have the Colossodon Hunters, regiment around Ripidactyls, fantastic at taking down big, large entities, so should be do a decent job at protecting Tic-Tac-Toe. Looks like we have a bit of lag here, but hopefully it will subside in a second. We've had these guys play before and it hasn't been any problems. Looks like it's sorting itself out. And we also have a Skink Priest of Beast with a Manticore Summon, Flock of Doom, and Wyson's Wild Form. That Manticore Summon could really help out if he comes up against a mirror, and it looks like we do. This could be a real problem here for the current king, as his air force is definitely going to get destroyed here. Red-crested Skink Chief up in the sky on a Ripidactyl will probably trade relatively well up against Tic-Tac-Toe, but not surrounded by all his allies and Manticores and so forth. In the front line, we have a huge amount of Chameleon Skinks all the way along. That'll be pretty damn good. And then we have the Amaxon Barbs hiding in the woods here. The spiky doggos will do decent AP damage and should be able to run over skinks relatively effectively as well. We'll deal with big dinosaurs pretty nice from distance too. We have some Cold One Spear Riders backing those guys up. We have the Umbral Tide, regiment renowned Salamander Hunting Packs who are hidden here and do some very decent damage as well. And 2 more units of Razordon Hunting Packs. We have some Feral Cold One Chevroned up and some Cold One Spear Riders, so a very fast mobile skirmish army. And to top it all off, we have the mighty and venerable Lord Croak going to be coming in with that nice shield of the Old Ones buff. Comes up to 44% damage resistance plus Deliverance of Itza. So if a big kind of pit fight happens, he will be very useful, but he doesn't have too many good targets here. The frontline engagement is going to be basically non-existent. I think Noob for Life has a really nice build here to kind of counter what A-Move has brought. Big dinosaurs add a bit of punch, and skinks won't really mind being shot at by the chameleons and can chase down the Amaxon Barbs, Razordons, and so forth. So really interesting builds here. Yo, Taco, how's it going? Yep, I can add you to the list, man. You'll just be after El Halcone, so Taco. I'll run you through the list after this game is over, man. And let's see. So the battle is underway up in the trees here. We do have a Skink Priest of Beasts, but I do not believe he can hide, so he's just going to be standing there in the forest. The rest of the forces are starting to move up. Do we have anyone hidden in here? We do! So we have the Ripidactyls and Tic-Tac-Toe hidden in the fortress here. That was really well spotted there by Stormrunner. So a lot of people don't know that you can actually hide up here, but it looks like those guys are going to float up and over the walls. It takes them a while to get into the battle, because they decide not to use the gate. That is far too basic for them, and they demand that they fly up and over. So chameleons don't really have too many good targets. Razor Hunting Packs, though, could just go into combat against the skink cohorts and push them off, but they are going to have to be very careful, as there are some Salamander Hunting Packs. But in come the initial fire from the chameleons, and you know, it'll do okay damage overall, and they should be able to beat them in combat relatively effectively as well. Red Crest Skink Chief trying to go in there and get some nice freebies, which I like to see. Razor Hunting Pack needs to be careful on this side with those Feral Cold Ones as well. The Colossodon Hunter is going to be swooping down relatively soon, but Cold One Spear Riders are moving over to intercept. And the frontline battle kind of getting underway here. Chameleon Skinks falling back, as so are the Razor Hunting Packs. Lord Croak is starting to push up, and Red Crested Skink Chief up to 13 kills, feasting on some skink cohort very effectively here. Chameleons have been caught though, so you know it's going to be a very strange battle to say the least. Umbral Tide now nuking the skink cohort here very effectively here, pushing those guys off. Lord Croak just pinning them in place. And over on the far side, we do have Chameleons have spotted these Colossal Hunters, who are a very glass cannon. They hit hard, but they take so much damage. So a really nice target for these Chameleon Skinks to start dragging them down. Maximum Barbs as well will probably start launching a few shots into the air, hopefully soon, and try to force those guys off. So it looks like some Feral Cold Ones are now feasting on the Skink cohort as well. Salamander's running over to try and intercept with the help of Feral Stegodon, but Amy's doing a very good job here of picking apart Noob for Life's Lizardman army here and dragging it all across the battlefield. You can see this battle is so heavily stretched, the micro is going to be pretty crazy. Cohort of Sotek do manage to avoid a blast coming in from Croak, and the Skink Priest of Beast has been forced off by the red-crested Skink Chief. Force him off, completely shatter him. He just needs to keep moving out and escape that Feral Manticore. No point fighting it as it will disappear, so that's one summon he's not going to get as well. Maximum Barbs coming out of the forest now, easily going to help clean up these skink cohorts. But over on the other flank here, Finns are still going pretty good actually for a move in general. So we do have the Feral Stegodon, who has managed to break off these Feral Cold Ones, so he's doing a decent job. And the Connoisseur is still very healthy as well, but Cold One Spear Riders will do a decent job. But he has managed to munch on one unit of Razor Hunting Packs, and they are probably going to flee off the battlefield. We have a very healthy Tic-Tac-Toe, just slowly getting skirmished down, and some more Raised Dawns being hunted by these Colossal Hunters. Cold One Spear Riders moving in to intercept though, trying to block them up. Colossal Hunters have been rampaged as well, so those Raised Dawns should be able to flee, but we do have some Salamanders getting in some good shots as well. Now over on this left-hand flank, it is very dominant for the I was about to say Lizardmen, but for A moves, Lizardmen here. Umbral Tide pushing forward into combat against the co-op Sotek, trying to force those guys off. And overall, Lord Croak could probably drop a little spell there as well to just help kind of finish it in its entirety. That Manticore putting absolute work, chasing what seems like for months now, all the way from over here, and has actually managed to beat down and force off the red-crested Skink Chief, who is fleeing for his life. Let's see, Feral Manticore does disappear just now, so can this red crest Skink Chief rally? This could be really key, even though Tic-Tac-Toe could probably hunt him down. Are you going to come back? Leadership -9 as we speak, 530 health. It'll be interesting to see if he managed to rally. Apart from that, the battle is going relatively okay for a move in general, but it looks like actually Noob for Life starting to get the upper hand with some of his big dinosaurs really starting to put in work and getting some really nice catches over on this flank of the battlefield. But the red crested Skink Chief rallies on the edge there. So Umbral Tide, looks like they're moving around, just trying to take out the cohort of Sotek. Should be able to do a decent job there. And the battle's still relatively stretched here. The left flank being won for Noob, right flank here being won by A-Move. Chameleon Skinks getting some decent damage onto the Salamander Hunting Pack, but if they fire back, even though there is missile resistance, they will do some serious damage. But it looks like they're trying to pick on these Cold One Spear Riders, who are falling back. We have two Razor on Hunting Packs as well, going to be trying to trade fire here. Feral Cold Ones need to get on top of these guys and shut them down as quick as possible. There's still a very healthy Carnosaur, very healthy Stegodon, and a very healthy Tic-Tac-Toe, which could be big problems. And Cold One Spear Riders taking shots from the rear there, really not where they want to be. Looks like he's going to be coming back to the battlefield, the Red Crest Skink Chief. He wants to be careful, doesn't want to get engaged with Tic-Tac-Toe up in the skies here. So Feral Cold Ones have started to hunt down these Salamander Hunter Packs, who are now taking fire from the Umbral Tide, their older cousins. Now that's going to allow this Feral Stegodon and Carnosaur to push in with the help of Tic-Tac-Toe and try and shut down this ranged blob here. So the skirmish game has been going on for so long now, and it's going to be very interesting to see who manages to finally get that little bit of better micro and keep their troops alive. Looks like the Maximum Barbs are getting out of there, which I highly recommend. Should be able to get out there, turn around and put in some decent damage. Chameleon Skinks applying poison to all these units, trying to shut them down. Cold One Spear Riders popped into the back line and shut down one Salamander, almost shutting down the other as well. But in comes the Ancient. Haven't actually seen him take part in battle too much, but together they should be able to swarm and break down those Cold One Spear Riders. Red Crest Skink Chief just dangling around on the edge of the battle here. All the Razor Dawns are trying to fall back, get into a new position. They have managed to rampage the Colossal Hunters, which is perfect because they're one of the mobile tools Noob for Life has at the moment, trying to shut down this very kind of quick and fast moving army. Maximum Barbs flinging shots in on that Feral Connoisseur, doing some fantastic damage. He has been poisoned as well, so he's going to be slow on the move. But these Colossal Hunters really need to go down It looks like the Umbral Tide, though, firing into the Ancient Stegodon, or Ancient Stegodon, sorry, Feral Stegodon instead. But these big monsters are now starting to take a bit of a pound and getting isolated. He needs to be using Tic-Tac-Toe to shut down these different hunting packs, but at the same time it's really hard. He is being pulled apart and isolated, and that is allowing Noob for Life, or not Noob for Life, sorry, A-Move to kind of pull these units apart. It's really hard to kind of concentrate on who is who when they are both the same faction. I hate to see my dinos fighting each other. Looks like the big dinosaur's going for a snipe on Lord Croquet, but he's a pretty meaty boy himself. So here's a feral form there, getting ready for an attack. And it looks like the feral Carnosaur has gone out of control. It's actually running over to the left-hand side here. Feral Stegodon, though, Focus Instincts keeping it in action here. Let's have some Chameleon Skink bodyguards as well. And the Max and Barbs being pulled apart from Tic-Tac-Toe. Those guys need to escape as they have a ton of AP damage, which would be really useful for taking down these big dinos. Chameleon Skink's doing a decent job on the Feral Carnosaur. Looks like he's coming back to try and save his Salamander hunting packs, who are in a death fight here with some Razors. Both units seem to be terrified. And it looks like some Salamanders have managed to get back engaged as well for Noob on that flank. Ancient Salamander doing his best to take down these Common Spearheads, who are now triple chevrons, putting in some really heavy work here. So overall, this battle still pretty crazy. It's slowly been swirled and dragged into the centre pocket here as everyone does trade fire. But Lord Croak going toe-to-toe with a Feral Stegodon here, pushing it off, and it is routing. If his Lord is anywhere about, I'd probably take this Lord here and force off the Carnosaur or force off the Stegodon. Try and stop those guys from returning. Great play here, bringing back the Max and Barbs, once again keeping them active, and forcing off the Ancient Salamander for the bargain as well. Looks like we have some Salamanders, Salamander on Razor on action. One unit does start to rampage. Chameleon Skinks as well, tying that guy up and slowly dragging him down. He's rather squishy for a dinosaur, unfortunately. So we still have some skink cohorts rallying as well, but there's not too many good targets for them. They can just try and bog down troops and chase off units. But Red Crest Skink doing what he should do, chasing off this Feral Carnosaur. Lord Croak in the slowest speed chase of all time, trying to chase off this Feral Stegodon. But if he gets enough distance, he might be able to turn around and whack Croak around a little bit. Looks like Max and Barbs were in guard mode there, so they could continue firing even when their Tic-Tac-Toe was attempting to tie them up. Ancient Salamander starting to flee for the hills here. I'm surprised the balance of power is so even. I suppose it's because Noob for Life's Lord is pretty much full health here, whereas A-Moves is incredibly low. It might even be worth bringing Tic-Tac-Toe over and trying to snipe out the Lord, as I think he's a little bit faster. And he's now completely isolated as well from Chameleon Skinks and anything that can give any support. So, Colossal Hunters looks like they did rally at some point and come back into the fray, but they've been forced off. 96 health, still 2 models somehow. 1 or 2 more volleys though, we might see these guys go down, but looks like they've got out of range for now. It's very unlikely they're going to be able to rally, come back and affect the battle too much. Ancient Salamander has rallied, 359 health, needs to turn and shoot these Cold One Spear Riders before they engage him in combat. Tic-Tac-Toe trying his best to take down these Max and Barbs. Wherever he goes, he's being shot by different units. It looks like Feral Stegodon is coming back into play as well. Down goes the Carnosaur on a really cool sink kill. It's a little bit too far away, but it looks like he picked up and threw that guy down. But he's actually routing, even after his victory there. That's how low health he is. Oh, this is so close. If Croak can get some assistance over here, force off the Stegodon and chase it off, you'd be able to just surround Tic-Tac-Toe, you would think. We do have some rallied Salamander hunting packs pushing off these Razordons, but some Chameleon Skinks will probably pop on them and manage to deal with them, as Tic-Tac-Toe is getting surrounded here. Max and Barbs once again baiting him in, then going to be falling back and getting some shots in while the Chameleons pin him in place. In the distance, Umbral Tide doing a decent job, just hunting down routing units, ensuring they do not come back. But it looks like the Red Crest Skink probably is going to run off the entire battlefield here, which is a bit of a disaster. Now, a big shield, supreme shield of the old ones, giving that massive damage resistance, allowing Croak to tank out this Feral Stegodon. He does a decent amount of damage himself as well. It looks like, are these other forces going to be coming over here? Looks like the Max and Barbs trying to get some shots into the Stegodon. Nice play here by New for Life, though, trying to consolidate his forces. These guys need to stick together. And disaster here for A-Move. Oh no, Cold-Blooded is popped. That was pretty damn clutch there, because these guys did not want to rampage into this combat. They need to get out of here. There is still 4 models. They can throw their darts in, do that constant damage, and drag down this Feral Stegodon. Umbral Tide as well. Getting some decent long-range shots in here. Focus Instinct trying to protect this Feral Stegodon, stop it rampaging, but it looks like he's got a good chance of breaking here. Did the Lord rally? No, it looks like he is still running for the hills here. and Chameleon Skinks as well going to be saturating on top. Ferrosaur once again pushed off here. Tic-Tac-Toe wisely trying to take down these fast-moving, kind of mobile artillery pieces almost in a way of the army, as he can't sit in combat and allow these guys to shoot him all day. And he might be able to beat this, like the rest of the swarms, if these guys aren't shooting in. So they need to get back to friends here and to get a little bit of protection. But it looks like they are both starting to waver pretty heavily now. Balance of power almost dead even still. Tic-Tac-Toe going to be swooping in here. Whoa. Looks like he drops his rock bomb as well, but not really getting the best contact. But it does force off the Umbral Tide here. And I believe that is his only entity left, with everything else starting to break. Ferrosaur going to be wisely chased off by Chameleon Skinks. Really nice play there by A-Move. It's always very important late game for any new players to watch him. Chase off those units. If you have a very beat up unit of kind of just cheap troops, chase off the opponent, stop them from coming back, and it's such good value overall. Tic-Tac-Toe though, going for the assassination on Lord Croak here, and he may be able to pull this out of the bag. Power balance now going in favour of Noob for Life. This has been a crazy game. That Stegodon will probably rally now, as the Chameleon Skinks have been terrified by a routing troop, which is pretty hilarious. Chameleon's saturating on top of Lord Croak, who's up to 800 health. Tic-Tac-Toe though, 1,100. Does he have enough? Chameleon Skinks are starting to rout now and abandon their Lord. That would not happen with Temple Guard nearby. So Chameleon Skinks looks like they're going to try and get on top of this Ferrostegodon and force it off, but that's not really a fight they want to pick. And what else is on the battlefield? Razorns need to rally here for A-Move if he's going to continue his reign as king. 500 health here for Lord Croak. Tic-Tac-Toe still on over 1,000. Looks like he's actually wisely trying to escape and dragging him through his chameleons. Ancient Stegodon has been completely shattered now. This other healthy unit needs to come back here and engage in combat. Lord Croak, 500 health now, going to turn and engage with the Supreme Shield of the old ones active. Tic-Tac-Toe down to 700 health. I think A-Move has this, but I don't want to curse it. This is really goddamn close. And looks like everything else is just routing on the battlefield, so we get some nice close-ups there. Tic-Tac-Toe, 690 health here, dealing decent damage to these chameleons, forcing one unit off almost. Another unit does rally to Lord Croak's aid, down to just 300 health, but it looks like that is game. That was insanity. That was pure insanity there. That was crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed that battle. That was insane. Really nice play. I think Noob for Life actually had an army which fairly effectively countered A-Moves, but he was just such good play, picking apart that army early on, dragging it out and isolating targets, and just slowly and kind of systematically pulling it apart. But two really fun armies in a very weird mirror match. That was pure madness. So after we do have Stormrunner up next. What map should we do for this one? Let's go River Maxon. So, sorry, it looks like I missed quite a lot in chat. I think you guys are all doing good here. After this battle, we finally know who are better, Salamanders or Razordons, and it has been proven it is the Razordons, although he did also have the Umbral Tide as well. What's up, Lucas K? How did you get into the King of the Hill? Message me on Discord, but I can add you to the list now. There is a little bit of a waiting time. So, we have A-Move Haku as the current king on 2, so let's update that quickly while I remember. Boop. Oh, looks like I've got a load of messages on Discord as well. Oh no, looks like they were all for kind of irrelevant stuff. Croak almost lost it, almost. The Mighty Croak, but Stormrunner is in. So, we have Stormrunner versus A-Move now, and then up after that we have the mighty King of the Dead, Raptor, Baron, El Halcone, Flying Taco, and then you, Lucas. Daniel, what have you missed? Pure carnage. Literally pure carnage. Literally, lizards on lizards, and it was just an absolute nightmare to cast. But it was brilliant, good fun, though. Really good builds. So, mighty Stormrunner. A bit of a veteran now of the channel, having appeared in a lot of King of the Hills. Imagine if Croak had lost the Tic-Tac-Toe in lore. That would be just so embarrassing. But with Maxon, super fun map, and one of my favourites because it is a Lizardman themed map, which is actually competitive, and I do use it in a lot of tournaments. There's some really nice hilly terrain on this right-hand flank, with also some trees on the periphery, so you can do lots of sneaky stabbings around there, and some big clumps of trees here in the centre, so you can, even if you're up against a ranged army, kind of close that distance effectively. Is A-Move sticking with Lizardman? He's been an absolute champion of the Lizard folk so far. Does he have his own Discord? I do indeed have my Discord. If you message me on there, my name is a Rubber Duck of War, I will get you an invite. I would put it in chat, but it doesn't let me. I think I have to be affiliated with YouTube before I can put links into my chat, which is really annoying. Other people have tried and it just doesn't work. Looks like A-Move is going Lizardman. I'm deciding not to ban anyone so far. He's very confident here. So the way this works, Lucas, as well, so you know, it is of course a best of one winner stays on tournament, and the king picks one faction, bans one, and I'm the guy who picks the maps. The last couple of maps will be a little bit stupid. We have the second to last map picked by Aristodemus, and the last map picked by Raptor. So if you have any complaints about them, you know where to aim your anger, because they're pretty mental. Looks like we have the Dowie. A lot of people like Dowie as a counter to Lizardmen. I do myself. Trollhammer torpedoes, very good. Longbeards, pretty decent. Miners can deal very effectively with Skinks. I actually put them in a second line behind the Longbeards to ensure I get both my blasts and charges off, and it just does so much damage. But at the same time, Lizardmen have so many great, cheap and cheerful armor-piercing tools with all the feral beasties. You have Amber Spear as well. You can have Tenowin up on top of his Flappy Birds. So there's loads of different stuff you can do, but I can definitely see a Dowie combat box appearing in one of these forests, perhaps. Glorious Feeder, you can indeed sign up to the list as well. Please message me on Discord and I will get you added. We are on beta though. So Lucas, yes, that is also something to take account of. We are on the beta. So if you're not on the beta, please switch over now, as it can take a little while. But you've got a little bit before the people come in. So after this, we have King of the Dead, Raptor, Baron, El Halcone, Flying Taco, then it is Lucas and Glorious Feeder, if you guys are on the beta. Oh, sorry, man. We'll try and get you in the next one, Glorious Feeder. Hopefully it's going live soon. Like, it's been a little while. So I'm praying it goes live in the next week or so. Which is so much nicer to have everyone in one place. But feel free to stick around and watch some awesome games. Definitely try and get you on the channel soon. 3-hour stream incoming. Oh. Ugh. I keep trying to make these shorter, but more and more people turn up, and it's really good fun. I'm happy to cast it. Which, if you guys are enjoying, and most importantly, you like puppies and kittens, please do hit that thumbs up button, because rumour has it that every time you hit that button, a puppy or a kitten is born into the world, and that's just an awesome and beautiful thing. So feel free to hit that like button, and subscribe for more content similar to this. Let's check my Discord, I have loads of messages. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yes. Sorry, I saw someone message me, hop on stream, and I'll get you added. Cool, so Raptor's not certain he's going to be able to play, but we'll see. We may have someone else joining as well. But I've just told him to hop in the YouTube chat. It's just easier to organise once I'm online rather than hop in between Discord and not. Awesome, man. Awesome, Feeder. We'll definitely try and get you into the next one. Okay, Raptor. Well, if it's not ready in time for your match, if it is, we'll play. If not, I'll just add you to the bottom of the list and you come in at the end. And you'll actually have to suffer playing on your own map, which is kind of funny. Yeah, it is a big problem at the moment, isn't it? The beta. I understand why they do them, and maybe it helps long term. Because obviously, if they put out the beta, people can test it and they can fix bugs and whatnot, stops them having to do too many updates. But it is really frustrating trying to get people organised for stuff. in Lore Master Sotek's tabletop tournament, I had like the perfect matchup. The guy's army I was up against suited me perfectly, but because of the beta, someone had to switch around the orders, and I ended up coming up against the Undertaker, also known as Grombrindle, and got dragged down, unfortunately. What's up, man? You're a Protocol Wire. Ah, did you just message me in Discord by any chance? Let me check. I believe you did. I'll add you to the list, bro. There is quite a heavy list, unfortunately, but I will definitely try to get to you. Daedalus 4. I'll run through the order after this game for you, bro, so you can see how long you've got to wait before you get a game. So, let's go through the armies. So, we have the Pretender, the Challenger, Stormrunner, trying to take the crown from the glorious A-move over there. And it looks like a Dowie Rush build, which is pretty damn cool and unexpected. So we have a load of miners in the front lines, also the Norgrim's Ironbreakers. I did not know they could Vanguard. That is super cool. So a lot of Blast and Charge is going to be coming in, doing huge damage to Skinks, but it looks like out of the blue, we have Saurus Warriors. That is going to be a bit of a annoyance here for the miners, but still, they get some okay damage in. They're backed up by Bugman Rangers, Rangers with great weapons, and the Ulfar Raiders as well. We have a really cool ability, which we'll just go over once again here, which is marked by Ulfar. As you can see, minus 24 missile parry, 22% missile distance, and 30 armor, so they can drag down big, nasty dinos. So a massive range core behind that miner front line. We have 2 gyrocopters, both with brimstone guns. Really nice picks in this matchup, in my opinion. We also have Ungrim Iron Fist. What a hero. Brilliant Ungrim. Haven't seen him in a competitive setting for a while. But again, against Lizardmen, he will do very good against their lords and big dinos. We have a Thane and a Runesmith. With this is an ability, right? A lot of people don't know about this, or don't seem to. The Hammer of Karak Draz is so good. And I haven't seen many people take it. Minus 40 melee attack. Basically can just neuter someone like Tyrion to the ground and allow your cheaper and more cheerful lords to bring him down. Now, for A-Move's army, let's see what he has. We have a front line. Let's see what's hiding under there. A skink cohort on the flanks of Saurus Warriors in the middle. Definitely something I didn't expect. Red-crested skinks are a lot more often pick. I like mixing them in with Saurus Warriors personally. We have 2 units of Croxagore, it looks like. One kind of on either flank. We have a Feral Bastillodon as well. Or 3 units of Croxagore, in fact. So 1 in the centre, 1 on each flank. We have a red-crested skink chief. Looks like he's just going to be on foot here. Pretty good, stay naked one indeed. A Maxim Barbs as well. Regiment Renowned raised on hunting packs. Nice AP. And just look at these little spiky doggos. They will do some really nice damage, but they are quite squishy to gunfire, and these rangers can definitely do a number on them. We have a couple of chameleon skinks as well to tie up foes, and a skink priest of heavens coming in with the wind blast. So, should be a pretty fun game. Oh, also a Skink Priest of Beast with Manticore Summon and Wild Form as well. So this is going to be a bloody and quick fight. I don't know how these miners are going to do. They were definitely expecting some Skinks. Interesting to see how the Blasting Chargers fare up against Saurus Warriors. Obviously a lot less effective, but still, no doubt we'll get some value. So it looks like I'm assuming a Rune of Wrath and Ruin on top of these guys. Oh no, Marked by Ulfar is coming down. These guys are about to get absolutely nuked here. We do have a load of Blasting Chargers coming in, but being pretty ineffective. Chameleon Skinks wisely being kept out of range for now. Crossgore's trying to push all the way through into the back line, and Saurus Warriors have found a hole as well in the miners, instantly hopping onto these rangers and trying to shut down that ranged core. Curse of Midnight Wind, sorry, is what he picked, not Wind Blast. Upgraded version, minus 30 armor and 24 melee attack, going to really help these Saurus drag down these miners quickly, and these Norgrim Ironbreakers. Now, out of the forest on the right-hand flank, Bastillodon comes crashing into some Bugman Rangers, assisted by some Croxagore, who are slapping at Dowie left, right, and centre. And once again, A-Move is so good at overloading his opponent, it seems. Pressure from all angles, and the backline is completely compromised here, so more Bugman Rangers do start to go down. Skink cohort as well, pushing in, and that leadership core desperately trying to chase over here and help shut down some of these foes. A Feral Manticore has been summoned, probably going to be used to chase off gyrocopters and so forth. Could come back here and damage the hero core, but Ungrim would see to that Manticore quite quickly. Looks like all the chameleons are trying to focus down the gyrocopters as well, but Curse of Midnight Wind has been pushed off at last. Norgrim Ironbreaker is going to be a really tough to deal with. Looks like the Manticore is coming for a rear attack on those guys and doing some nice AP. Should hopefully be able to bring those guys down for the Lizardmen. Apart from that, miners are slowly losing their engagements across the board, and in the back lines we have some rampaging Croxagors and Feral Bastildon just pushing away all these Rangers who are in complete disarray at the moment, but if anyone can rally, it is certainly the Dwarfs. Max and Barbs coming in late game there, hiding in the trees. It looks like some Croxagor rallying back to the main fight as well, probably going to hop on top of these Norgrims and try and break them. Rangers as well being pushed off in all directions, but these guys do have a good chance of rallying. Gyrocopters slowly being dragged down, but getting some decent shots in at these Croxagor and Feral Bastildon, who are causing an absolute nuisance in that back line. Ungrim is going to be munching on some Saurus Warriors here. You can see the Mohawk Dowie flinging his axe from right to left there, cutting down fools as he does. The Max and Barbs now getting some really nice damage on the Gyrocopters, forcing one unit off, and now is certainly going to try and focus the other down with the help of Chameleon Skinks. Blasting charges do come down on the Skink Priest there, trying to force him off, but he's all happy to take those to the face for now. He's going to be assisting his Skink Warriors as some Saurus do crash into the rear of these beleaguered miners, who unfortunately are going to get pulled apart limb by limb, I am afraid. Balance power starting to go in favour of the Lizardmen, as I can probably agree. This hero core is going to be really tough to drag down, but he has the mobility of the Max and Barbs and the Chameleons to pull these guys apart a little bit. But it looks like Ungrim is going to find this red-crested skink. Rune of Wrath and Ruin popped as well. And Ungrim, with all his buffs popped, is a monster of a combatant. And you can see the health drop on that red-crested skink, who's trying to force his way through some very brave skink cohort. Jumped in the way to try and shut him down and save their lord there. Some Croxagor, really nice play here. Once again, one unit forcing off 3 units over here, going to be trying to get them off the battlefield, and the Dowie are running in all directions at the moment. It's really this hero core keeping them in this fight. Looks like the red-crested skink chief, who they wanted to mount his head on a trophy, is not going to allow that. He's going to be sneaking away, and some very cheap and cheerful skink cohort pinning in 2 leaders here, which is some really good management there. Saurus going to be hopping on top of this Fane as he takes a couple of shots from the Axe on Barbs. No, it looks like they're going to be shooting into the Norgrim Ironbreakers, up to 32 kills. Not the biggest damage dealers in the world, but they've been holding this front line for so long. The rest of their army have been pushed back. They stood their ground. Some really decent work. Looks like Feral Bastildon going to be munching on top of some Rangers here in the back line. They whip out their great weapons, but that is not going to help you against such a hulking beast. And Skinks chasing off Ulfar Raiders, not a good way for them to go. Gyrocopter in the back trying to rescue the situation and pick apart these Croxagors, but I think they're going to have enough about them to force them off the battle line, but they may not make it back to the main fight. Looks like the Red-Crested Skink Chief, once again, that you've been used to bait in Ungrim and the Fane and just drag him through troops, allowing the Amax and Barbs here. A bit of a nice open shot there into Ungrim, but he's quite a short little fellow, so it might be hard to get some shots in, but instead they're going to be launching their shots over to the Norgrims here, up to 34 kills. But, you know, Croxagor will be fairly handy in this matchup and should be able to slowly stomp those guys down. Saurus Warriors and some more Saurus Warriors need to get active and back into the main fight. Chameleon Skinks come over here, pestering Gyrocopters. Looks like the Croxagor did rampage, but they won't mind. That's kind of their job anyway over here. And Gyrocopters slowly being dragged down here as the balance of power starts going pretty heavily in favour of the King. Can anyone stop A move today on a bit of a win streak here? If he does manage to win this and bring it through, it will be 3 games in a row, but don't count Stormrunner out just yet. Ungrim, the ultimate slayer here, or one of the worst slayers, I suppose, because he's still alive, and his hero core can, if they snipe out the Red-Crested Skink, do some decent work here. There's another hero which can take them down quickly, but the skirmish from the Max and Barbs and these Chameleon Skinks is going to be really tough on the Slayer. Luckily, though, for a Slayer, he does have a ton of armour, which is pretty rare for Slayers, but he is a king at the same time. Looks like we have a lot of Dowie units trying to rally here. In fact, Bugman Rangers do rally in the distance. And no way. Do out of control Croxagor go after flying units and just stand there? That seems really harsh. But Chameleon Skinks dealing with the others as they go. And these skink cohorts will be able to chase off most of these rallying units. Although, we do have some Rangers with great weapons who can get in some decent shots onto the Feral Bastildon. Overall, it looks like, though, these Dowie are going to get skirmished. Let's see. The Runesmith looking pretty low on health, so is the Fane. Probably best idea to drag down the Runesmith first, so he doesn't give any of those buffs. Then the Fane, then you just surround and beat down Ungrim. Crosscore here being used to chase off the Norgrim Ironbreaker. It's not a bad shout. It's just systematically picking apart this army. And yeah, a load of his guys are just sitting around resting up, which, you know, they're not needed at the moment. So the Runesmith looking like he's going to start to break. Trying to force their way through still onto Red-Crested Skink Chief, and he has been hit A Rune of Wrath and Ruin and the hammer as well, so he's going to be basically useless in combat. We can see his melee attack down to 23 here, and he's going to be pretty damn slow as well. Going to be taking huge damage in the rear here. I'm going to pop in all his buffs with some Crocsword flying and just send those Dowie flying. Oh, it looks like they send some of their own swords flying, sorry. But they do send back the hero core back into the midst of all these Saurus warriors where we'll get pinned apart. Red Crest Skink Chief running back in there, but he should probably just stay out of this fight for now. But nice cycle charge and forcing off the Runesmith here. Looks like Gyrocopter is using the extra mobility to escape the Chameleon Skinks, who actually have ammo now, and we're trying to focus down this Feral Bastildon and maybe even the Skink Priest of Beasts. So yeah, Ungrim doing his bits, doing his best, surrounded by dead Croxagoys, using as a bit of cover and some Saurus Warriors. Looks like though they're going to force off this Runesmith, the Max and Barbs, getting nice and close, and going to be unleashing so many good volleys into Ungrim there. Red Ruin still popped. As you can see, he's taking quite a lot of damage now. Gyrocopters are forced off, and it is just the unbreakable Slayer King holding the line here. But I think even for a warrior as mighty as Ungrim Iron Fist, this is going to be a little bit too much to bear here, as all the forces do start to swarm in on him. Red Ruin lasts for quite a decent amount of time, but is low in his melee defense as well, allowing these Crocscar to get in some decent hits as well. Fane has completely routed off here, and it's merely going to be a shooting range here for the Chameleon Skinks and Max and Barbs to do their dirty work. So can anyone bring it down a move and his Lizardmen hordes? Up next we do have King of the Dead, followed hopefully by Raptor if he can make it, Baron, El Halcone, Flying Taco, Lucas, and I can't see what I've written there, but we also have one more guy who I know is in chat. Daedalus Fall, I believe is what I've written down there. Axe of Dargo has been popped there, but it is going for the hills here. It looks like he's going to be fighting to the death, but the hordes of lizardmen are marching to the defence of the forest, it would seem, in this instance. But they do defend Lustria quite a lot, so it does make sense. And this Dwarven Incursion will not stand. Trying to get on top to shut down the Max and Barbs, but he's just not going to be fast enough, especially when slowed by the Chameleon Skinks, even with Foe Seeker popped. And they're simply going to kite him, turn around, and unleash some bullets into him there. A move taking no chances of a Dowie comeback. Feral Bastildon, we'll call him Dave. Dave coming in here, flinging Ungrim to the ground, getting a big old horn into the midriff there, which isn't good for anyone. Max and Barbs getting decent shots there, 1,000 health, he will slowly be dragged down here. Oh, looks like Weiss and Wild Farm being popped as well, getting that extra weapon damage. Not that Bastildon really needs it, but it'll help out and make the end fight slightly quicker. No distance, we have some Crocswall. Looks like they're just munching on some troops, and we can see a foolish Dowie fleeing for his life, abandoning Ungrim and his king. And it looks like the Runesmith is up there doing the same thing as well. Ungrim, Deadly Onslaught pops. He's a pretty damn decent melee combatant. It's nice to see him in action. He did get up to 54 kills, but a little bit too slow, unfortunately, which does happen with a lot of the Dowie Lords. And slowly dragged apart. Razor's just been used to try and bait out Ungrim, so he turns around and allows the Bastildon to attack him in the rear. But it looks like he is actually going to live here and then simply fall back. Gotta love the Vanguard Dowie. No one expects it. It's really cool. Ark of Sotek Melt Slayers. That is something I definitely want to try. What's up, Briggsy? Good to see you, man. Just a quick hello on break at work. Oh no, you're at work. Man, we need to get you on one of these. I'm not sure if you've played on one of the streams yet, bro. We need to get you here. Super fun build, though, overall. Saurus. Interesting to see why he went for so many Saurus, but they did the job. Helped take those blasting charges from the miners. And then the big dinosaurs just slowly dragged through. Going to that backline very effectively, very quickly. As you can see, 2, 1, 5, 4, and 6 kills is really bad value on those rangers, unfortunately. Max and Barb as well. Nice to see them getting some love today and doing some decent work. So, King of the Dead, you are up, good sir. The password is 123. I don't think I have you on my friends list. Unless you're going underneath a different name. So, just pop in when you are ready. I'll send him a message on Discord in a second, just in case he's not in chat. And we are going to be going Pillar of Bone. But the King stands strong so far, up to 3 wins, which is very impressive. Oops, sorry about that. Although, I believe King of the Dead in the last King of Hell actually brought down a move's reign there as well, so we'll see if he can bring it back. Gotta love how Razor's look. Man, they're so cool. Yeah, that was a very brave build, but super fun overall. So, I will message King of the Dead. Oop, let him know he's up. Oh, make sure nothing's going on my Discord. No, we're all good. Should be good fun. Do you think anyone can bring down A-Move? He's been an absolute monster so far, bringing off-meta picks and making them work, making the old ones very, very proud. Pillarbone, super fun map, quite big and open, but there are some trees for some sneaky stabbings and some nice hills as well. The true king versus a pretender, who wins? Should be good fun. Yep. Just double check everything. Looks like we're all good. So we give King Dead a couple of minutes to hop in. It does say he's on Total War Warhammer, so... And there's a bit of a delay on stream as well, so if he's in stream, he still might not be able to catch me. But if you guys are enjoying this, please do consider giving a big old thumbs up and a subscribe and all that good stuff. Sorry to keep badgering about it, but it really helps out massively. One, the population of puppies and kittens who get born every time you do press one of those buttons, but it super helps out the channel as well, and pushes me out to get a wider audience, which is nice to see. It's good to see so many people watching. These are starting to get a little nice and popular. Keykeeper, how's it going, man? Cool, Keykeeper is Lucas No Wise Man. I will add you to the Discord now. Cool. Cool. We'll give it a couple more minutes. If it doesn't pop up, we'll just switch the order around and get someone else in, and we'll bring King back in towards the end. Cool, so we have Baron up here ready to go as well. Raptor, how is your game going? Are you managing to connect properly? Because if so, you will be up after King of the Dead. So we have, hopefully, if he is here, King of the Dead, then Raptor, Baron, El Halcone, Flying Taco, Lucas, and then Mr. Daedalus 4, which I'm probably butchering your name, which I do apologise for. So King is on Total War Warhammer. He might be in a game at the second. Cool. Looks like we're all good so far. And we're just giving it a little while longer. I think we're going to see some undead, maybe some bombers. We always see bombers from King of the Dead. Do you think he's going to be able to replicate his previous matchup, though, and take down the mighty A-Move? Okay, Raptor, we will move you to the end of the list. That is fine. So, Baron, I hope you are ready, because you may have to take King's spot here. And then we'll simply move him one down until he manages to pop up. Okay. Wait, is this on beta? Oh no! King of the Dead, please say you're already on the beta. Okay, cool. It looks like he's up and on now. So it will be King of the Dead. And then we are going to jump over Raptor and go down to Baron, El Halcone, Flying Taco, Lucas, and then Daedalus. I'm pronouncing it correctly, yes. Daedalus 4, perfect. Oh lord, please pick Glooming Woods now. Mate, we're going to be doing that towards the end of the game, I'm afraid. No, don't leave. We're going to do the kind of silly maps towards the end, though, just so no one kind of gets robbed of a chance to actually be king and all that kind of stuff, because the maps are really, like, kind of tilted. You can always come back after the game or so and check the replay afterwards, because I will certainly have those maps up. I hope you remember the promise you made if you got me. Actually, no, so it's a promise I made. If you got me 1,000 subs, I would do I think it was a 24-hour Aristodemos stream, in your honor. Cool. Looks like he's hopping on now, just getting in the password. Should be some good fun. How long have we been streaming for, by the way, so far? If anyone could tell me, that'd be perfect. I can't actually see. So I am chatting to you guys on my phone, in fact. That's where I have my stream up, so I can see you beautiful people, because I unfortunately do not have 2 monitors just yet. So apologies for my kind of delayed responses and so forth. Because there is obviously a lag on the stream and whatnot. The king picks one, bans one. Oop. Alright. So King of the Hill, I believe, did go on a bit of a win streak last time and play some pretty good, decent games. I think if memory serves correctly, he'd managed to take out a move and stop his reign of terror. 70 minutes, nice. Not bad so far. I've still got a lot of juice in the tank, so we'll definitely be able to get through everyone, which is good. Sounds good, just do not expect me to create 1,000 bot accounts that made me get banned from YouTube. Someone sent me a weird message on under one of my recent videos saying like, oh hey, you should get more views. Have you considered using this site? Which isn't something... Oh, King of the Dead coming in hard here with the Vampire Coast, which is going to be so deadly up against Lizardmen on this map. Which isn't something I am ever going to do or ever want to do, but it was just odd people dropping those type of things. But I do expect to see 1,000 Aris of Deimos accounts. This is a really tough matchup for the Lizardmen, in my opinion. And unfortunately, the pick one, ban one system, we are going to be switching that for tournaments. So I do host a weekly, or try mostly weekly, Death Before Dishonor tournaments. I believe Flying Taco won the last heat, which is a 4-man best-of-3 tournament with a best-of-5 finals. We are going to be switching that to pick one, ban two. We had it on pick one, ban one for the newer players, just so they didn't get kind of screwed over too much in having to know too many factions. We are going to be bumping that up. But for King of the Hill, it's pick one, ban one, because it's meant to be tough for the king to hold on to his crown. Baron, oh lord. Yeah, you're wedged in between a group of very tough players, so I wish you good luck. Here's 9% likely spreading trackers on malware. Yeah, it was on my comment section, so I'm just not gonna. I didn't reply to it. I just left it, which I think is the best thing to do. While I think about it, by the way, I believe King of the Dead does have a Twitch account, so if you enjoy what you see from his performances, make sure you go over there and check him out when he does go live. So he is a super cool dude. Played in a couple of the King of the Hills now, I believe. Looks like we are good to go. Who is your money on? Will the king reign victorious, or will the King of the Dead finally become the king of the living as well? Celeb, how's it going, bro? Nice to see you. Remember, Baron, if in doubt, always meme. That is some solid advice there. Solid advice. So, very cool thematic map overall. Some nice orky structures in the distance. I assume this is in the Badlands somewhere. And a nice little orc village. Just looks like the kind of place I'd like to retire to one day. Big old orc symbols, little red huts, and so forth. But overall, a very large map with a big old killing pit in the middle. But there is still trees dotted around for little bits of sneaky stabbings, and a few hills as well. This centre pocket is really like the maw of the beast, lures you in and drags you to your death. So it's going to be interesting to see what we see here. And a move may have just become the greatest Total War player of all time with this glorious pick. So we'll go through the King's Army first. We have a mixture of Skink cohorts and Saurus warriors as well, including the Legion of Shakwa. Very good in this matchup because of their ability. Shield of Shakwa giving that 44% missile resistance to troops nearby. We have a Slan Mage of Life here, coming in with Shield of Thorns and Earthblood, and of course all his bound abilities. We'll get to the big boy in a little bit. We have 3 Pterodon Riders up in the sky, one of them being the Pohawk Sentinels, have a really nice rock drop and can be doing some nice harass. In the distance, we have the Hopak Cohort, a mover proven that he actually really quite likes these guys. One, their colour scheme is very, very cool, but they do decent anti-large damage, and also sneak into the back line can be very powerful up against the coast. But the crux of the army, the pure genius of the Lizardmen, is the Dread Saurian. This huge lumbering beast going to be coming in there, doing some decent damage overall, but is an absolute bullet magnet, which you think would be incredibly risky to take up against the undead here, the vampires. So let's have a little look at Kin's build. In the front line, we have a mass of zombie pirate deckhand mobs, including the Regiment Renowned version, just to hold down the enemy and bog them down, flanked on either side by some polearms. Now the reason he's doing this is to defend the centre pocket of bombers who will Shrek Saurus warriors and skinks with their good bomb damage. We also have a zombie pirate gunnery mob with hand cannons, not a unit I see particularly often at all in the second line. More pole arms protect them, Lamprey's Revenge and some more crabs, and in the centre Count Nocula. So it'll be a very interesting game, not too much on this force to deal with those large pesky crabs, which could be a problem, and those hand cannons really need to deal with the Dread Saurian here. Skinks coming in the back though, they could just hop on top of these hand cannons and try and pin them down. The bombers can do decent work up against Saurus warriors, but this Dread Saurian is going to push straight through and try and shut them down straight away. Shield of the Old Ones does come in for a bit of added protection here. See, look at all that damage and missile resistance straight in top of those bombers and starts mulching. As for the rest of the battle line, everyone's starting to engage. Bombers will still do, as you can see, decent damage against Saurus warriors there, although they much prefer to be facing skinks. Pohawk Sentinels taking some hand cannons to the face, not what they like to see. We do have Banishment coming down, which is going to be pretty good here. Getting some really good value here on this gunnery mob. Also might catch a few hounds as well in the mix. Hopak Cohort lunges in on top of these zombie gunnery mobs as well, doing some really nice damage, shutting them down here. How is the Mighty Dread Saurian doing? He's taking an absolute hammer in here, surrounded by 2 Rotten Prometheans, and Count Noctis, of course, is anti-large with Halberd. We are getting an extended Earthblood, healing him up, and he is laying a smacking down on these Rotten Prometheans, so doing some really decent work. We also have a Shield of the Thorns coming down to protect that Dread Saurian there. Is the Dread Saurian going to be able to survive and try to carry the day? In the back line, Pohawk Sentinels doing a fantastic job taking down these hand cannons. Saurus warriors trying to push forward, but they need to shut down these bombers who are getting really nice work. And left flank going a lot more better for King of the Dead. But on the right hand flank, Dread Saurian doing pretty good here, trying to force his way out. Looks like we did have a summon or something go down. Yeah, we had some zombie pirate deck hands summoned. Dread Saurian will be moving out onto the right hand flank, assisting these skink cohorts until it is time to heal up again. Really nice play there overall. Balance power dead even at the moment. These Pohawk Sentinels need to shut down these hand cannons and then instantly hop on top of these bombers. They cannot be allowed to continuously do this damage. Maybe you can get the Slan, hop on and shut them down. So the shooting, there's still some hand cannons active and 1 unit of bombers. This Dread Saurian is an absolute beast, sending Count Noctis flying. He's going to be a tough cookie to deal with. Now a lot of the long-range troops are starting to be dealt with here. Pohawk Sentinels going to combat against bombers. These Saurus need to get active and moving as well. Some skink cohorts are surrounded, but they'll do a decent job overall. So left flank going very good here for the Lizards. Back line as well, slowly getting shut down by the Pterodon Riders. However, it looks like the Dread Saurian starting to wave a little bit. He's taking a huge amount of damage. Needs to fall back and get some huge healing on him. Count Noctis will be able to deal with this bad boy pretty tastily here. But overall, I think it's going well for the Lizardmen, I would say. Hopak Cohort probably going to get in a heal here with the Dread Saurian. Looks like we do have an Earthblood, and they should be able to swoop around and start taking down some of these ranged troops. More Saurus warriors come into the fray as well. Big Shield of the Old Ones coming down, helping protect the Legion of Shakwa, who've done decent damage so far. 114 kills. Really impressive display so far. Hopak also with the protection, hopping on top of the Lamprey's Revenge, who do have an upgraded Invocation of Heck though, keeping them in this fight. If I was Cold Ones, I'd be pulling back quite quickly. Saurian looping around the army, trying to get into this back line, and we're going to see another Banishment come down on top of these zombie pirate gunnery mob. Is it going to come in on top of these Saurus though, which is very dangerous here, and the kind of randomness of the Banishment, but it looks like it's going to miss the Saurus for the most part there, just doing some decent damage to the zombies, which is a nice play overall. Hand cannons slowly being dragged down. This is a really, really close fight here. Bombers being shut down on this flank, Halberds also slowly getting pulled down, but there is still a very, very healthy Count Noculus and a very beleaguered Slar Mage Priest of Life now, who's slowly being dragged back by people. Dreadstorian falling out back now again. A couple more hills should get him nice in fighting shape, but there is some Rotten Prometheans and the Lamprey's Revenge to deal with for hunting down the Slar Mage Priest, and he might not have the luxury of sitting back and waiting for a heal anymore. But the rest of the battlefield is very dominated by the Lizardmen. They need to go over here and help this Slan, although it is isolating these forces, dragging away the Prometheans and Count Noculus. If he's used up most of his magic and he reckons he can get away, it's not the worst shout just to munch on all the rest of these forces whilst the rest of his powerhouses are distracted. So we've got some long range shots as well from the Dreadsaurian coming in. Slar Mage though, he's doing his bit. He's trying to escape as fast as possible. Looks like those some Pterodons are being popped in as sacrifice just to lure these guys back, pin them in place and really allow the Slar Mage Priest to escape. Very close game though. A lot of these games have been close so far. It looks like they were just staying ready and all that good stuff. So, quickly, why my clan name is actually DBD, or my little tag, I don't really have a clan, and why my tournaments are called Death Before Dishonor and so forth. Basically, if you want to get invited to these things and invited back, sportsmanship is literally the #1 thing. If you get on with people and are nice to people, obviously, you don't have to be particularly talkative, as long as you're polite and whatnot, you'll always be welcomed back. So you should also always, die before you dishonor yourself in the battlefield. So always good to see these guys getting on quite nicely here. And of course it's competitive, but it's as long as it's a fun environment. Which luckily for the most part I don't think I've ever had anyone who's not been a really cool guy. So Count Noculus slowly being swamped here, as well as the Rotten Prometheans. Legion of Shaq are going to do some really nice anti-large damage to these guys. With the Dreadsaurian as well saturation on top of those guys. I can see that engagement going pretty down well, but a very healthy Count Noculus here. He's going to be hard to swarm down. If the Slan has some Earthbloods here, that'd be really key, as the Legion of Shakwa are slowly being dragged down here. Cold Blood keeping them in the fight. We do see an Earthblood go down as I speak. The Hawk Sentinels hopping on top of these deckhand mobs. Force them away. Lamprey's Revenge are starting to waver there. -32 leadership, -8 now, starting to rally again a little bit. They were starting to deteriorate here, and so are these Rotten Prometheans. The Dreadsaurian putting in a huge work here, picking up this Lizardman army, slotting it comfortably into a backpack and picking that backpack on his back. He's carrying right now, doing huge damage to these nasty beasties. But Count Noculus getting in there, dragging this guy down to just 2,000 health. Skink cohorts and Saurus Warriors rallying to the fight here, hopping on top of these units. It looks like the Lamprey's Revenge did go down, and their second unit is also breaking here, so it is all on Count Noculus. Power balance though, not going too far to force army losses here, and it's going to be a big old swarm fest on the man himself, who does have an arcane conduit. Dreadsaurian down to just 2,000 health here, but he packs an absolute punch. You see one hit, if he makes it through that melee defense, it does huge damage and instantly knocks Count Noculus's leadership down quite heavily there. Slar Mage Priest just chilling on the side, and it looks like that is going to be game to the Lizardmen. No one can stop the king. He does in fact make the Dreadsaurian OP meta confirmed, question mark. So yeah, interesting to see. Oh no, not out the game just yet. Count Noculus starting to rally for a nice summon of zombie pirate deckhand mobs, but instantly they break. Army losses set in. Great game, an A move, avenging his previous King of the Hill loss up against the man, myth, the legend, King of the Dead. He played very good. I just think that was a really awesome pick, bringing the Dreadsaurian there, kind of off meta. You'd expect, cannons and so forth, they just drag down those big dinosaurs, but there's a lot of mind games when it comes to Total War. Your opponent is going to be like, well, you're probably not going to bring big dinosaurs because I'm good against them, so I'm going to bring stuff to deal with swarms, with these bombers and so forth. He still did bring the 3 hand cannons as well, so instead you bring the big dinosaurs, and it really catches them off guard. 179 kills on the beastie there. Legion of Shakwa, real MVPs though, getting those guys in there fairly unscathed, and up to 165 kills as well. Oh, didn't mean to do the caps lock. Well, so well played to King of the Dead, but it is Baron's turn. So if you want to hop up in, my friends, I can send you an invite. Password is 123, and Baron is making his debut on the channel. A move up to 4 now, which is pretty damn crazy. So let us get Baron. Can Baron bring down the king? Just going to check my Discord quick. Oh no, my YouTube description is duplicated, so everything is doubled up. Oh, thanks, Raptor. Cheers for the heads up. I will sort that out. I think it's because I already have it on manual for the streams, unfortunately. Falcon will be proud now. Oh, alright, so I've done the wrong type of Baron. Ooh. So up after Baron, we do have the mighty El Halcón, also making his debut on the channel, I believe. Mr. Flying Taco, if he is still around. I know he was a bit concerned about the length of the list. But then we have the mighty Lucas, followed by, I've written your name terribly down, I need to rewrite that, Daedalus 4. So I'll let these guys do their picks and bats. Not the Shredder, 7 out of 10. Yeah, not quite, meme enough, but pretty good. It's always good to see the Saurian. The best players know you have to take the Shredder. That is 100% correct, Syllab. Noctilus will destroy that Saurian. I mean, the Saurian had other ideas. They had other ideas. They did manage to drag him down. But that was a super fun game overall. So, whoop. So he is going Lizardman. 1 pick, 1 ban. And we will switch the map. We'll do Mirrors. So that was my bad. I believe Baron is fairly new to the multiplayer scene. So he's coming in into the deep end right here up against the mighty A-Move. And if he manages to throw off the king, he will also come up against a very dangerous list of players that we still have left to play. But Baron, yeah, he mentioned me, sent me a little message, popped on top of the beta. And it's going to be interesting to see him getting into my player scene. It's always good to have a few newer players and a few experienced players mixed in. And my advice as well to any new players out there, the best way to play is, or the best way to learn, is just to keep playing games. And, oh, let's say this, man. Oh, cool. Looks like A-Move's on the case. And, yeah, playing good players is one of the best ways to learn, honestly. Just going to have a quick sip of my drink, so apologies for the squeakiness as I am opening up my little flask. Which is 100% water and not any of Bugman's brew. Cool, looks like we have Lizardmen versus Greenskins, so we're going to have a bit of a War versus Dino matchup. I personally think this favours the Lizardmen, but the Arachnarok Spiders, ever since they got their bonus versus large, really does start to drag the game back towards more of a kind of central ground. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. Night Skulkers are really good here as well, helping take down big monsters, although they do suffer from low leadership. Now, Mirror Woods, super fun map. Not as much woods as you'd expect for an entire map called Mirror Woods, but some nice hilly terrain, some nice trees for some sneaky stabbings, which I always like to see, and plenty of room behind your opponent for some vanguards. Just going to double check Discord to make sure we're all good. Looks like we are. Yep. So let these guys decide their matchup. Yeah, it can be pretty hard for the Greenskins Raptor, I agree. It can be a little bit tough. So we still have after this game, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4 more competitors, so plenty of time to dethrone A-Move, who's been running since the first game, which is pretty damn crazy. And for those of you guys waiting to play, just remember the rules are the attacking rules from the Warhammer kind of cup rule set made by Mr. Shetland Apache, and unit caps are on, which is different from my tournaments, but, I'm sure if you guys want to get involved with those, just drop me a message and we get going. Looks like Mr. A-Move is ready. The King. Catch you later, Aristodemus, man. Cheers for tuning in. Glad to see Aristemos back as well. I think he's been incredibly busy. I believe it is with university. He did tell me a long time ago why he kind of had to stop playing because he had so much work to do. We need a wild Grimgor pick. Yes, we do. Grimgor isn't as much as a meme as people make him out to be, I don't think. He's a little slow, and he struggles in the same way like a lot of dwarf lords do struggle. But he's a beast if you allow him just to sit there and systematically kill heroes and lords. He'll do his best. But he's a little bit of a meme, which is sad because he's meant to be, the biggest, the meanest, and all that good stuff. Cool. Looks like Baron is ready. Just wait for a move to ready up again. Looks like he might be doing some last-minute changes, and we will get going. Luckily, for the most part, we've had quite a quick turnaround, which I really appreciate. Getting people into the game quickly and all that good stuff. And I try to add people on Steam where possible as well. Nice little good luck, have fun with Baron. And we will see how this goes. Do you believe anyone can take down the king? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting indeed. Check Discord. Yeah, we're all good. Let's get this cracking. I want to see some skulls being split asunder, both greenskin and lizardmen skulls. Lots of blood everywhere, preferably as well. That's just my thing. That's what I like to do on a Thursday evening. Damn right, he's the biggest and the meanest. Oh, the meanest. Oh, yes. Yes. How's your game looking, Rapture, as well? Is it looking like it's going to recover? So, as previously said, lots of hills, lots of trees, which is really nice. Both deployments do get hills. This one, a little bit more shrouded in trees, but at the same time, that can block your own view. However, this map is actually way bigger than it looks, and that allows you to do a lot of Vanguard deployment. We'll get into that when the guys bring down their armies. For now, we can just admire this nice lake, nice peaceful countryside, some nice elven architecture in the background. Nice rolling hills, looking a little bit like Switzerland. And nice and chill, nothing could go wrong in this very peaceful valley over on the side. And we even have a nice rainbow as well, which I'm sure is going to mean everything just goes very comfortably. These guys will come to a peaceful agreement, and there will be no bloodshed at all. So let's have a look at the Challengers army here. And for the front line, we have a lot of goblins, which is always good to see. So we have some chevroned up nasty skulkers, side by side with some night goblins as well. For the main battle line, we have a ton of, looks like a mixture, orc boys mixed in with black orcs. So 2 of each, chevroned up black orcs as well, will tear apart Saurus very, very quickly. We do have the Ragnarok, getting my mouth all mixed up. The Ragnarok Queen, originally around Ragnarok Spider, great anti-large damage, armor piercing, can deal with big monsters and spawn little hatchlings as well, which can become a big problem for the enemy. And I swear I saw a chariot somewhere as well. We have 2 Night Goblin Archers, we have a Goblin Rock Lobber as well, we're going to be trying to force the Lizardmen to him. And I swear there was a chariot. Am I imagining things again? Other voices whispering in my ears. Oh no! Okay, this time it is me being insane. We have the Teeth Robbers down here in the trees. Now for leadership, it looks like we have Azag the Slaughterer, I assume? Yes, it is. Up on top of his mighty wyvern here, bringing a ton of spells here. So we have the Fate of Buna, Purple Sun, Soul Blight, Doom and Darkness, Spirit Leech, and Aspect of Dread Knight. So it looks like he's gone for the full-on kit there. Now, for the Lizardmen and the current king, we have some Cold One Spear Eyes, which we've seen him use a ton recently, mixing with Skinks, but we have them on the right-hand flank. For the main battle line, we have Skink Cohort, the Cohort of Sotek, the round version, Saurus Warriors, Saurus Warriors, Saurus Warriors, Saurus Warriors, Saurus Warriors, Skinks. A huge, long, wide front line there. Up top, we have some Skink Skirmishers as well. No Chameleons today. Looks like we have just 2 units of the Skirmishers. For his lord, we do have a red-crested Skink Chief, and he's been using quite a lot recently, on foot, currently hiding, looks like inside a pouch of the Saurus Warrior, much like a kangaroo. For his mage, we do have a Skink Priest of Heavens here, coming in, it looks like Curse of Midnight Wind and Wind Blast, but let's just double-check that. Wind Blast, Curse of Midnight Wind, nice, nice. And we have some Kroxigor, looks like 3 units in total, going to do some really nice damage to those Black Orcs and just punch through them effectively. Looks like hidden in the trees we have another unit of Cold One Spear Eyes as well, mirroring the one on the flank. Looks like we're going to get in a very early engagement here, which probably isn't going to go very well for these Skink Skirmishers. We're probably just about to get run over by some rather nasty Teeth Robbers. And I believe teeth, at least in 40k orcs, is actually the currency of the greenskins. So they grow teeth continuously. So if you break out your own teeth, that's money. And of course, you beat up people, take their teeth, and use it. Looks like they are pretty much set up, so this battle will get underway very quickly. A bold man picks greenskins and Slytherin. That is very true. But Azak, he's pretty insane. He thinks he's up for the task. Looks like Nasty Skulkers and Goblin Fanatics hide in some trees over here. Should be good to see this get underway. Cool, just ask if he's ready. Which I assume they are. Cool, looks like we're getting underway. And straight away, violence does occur in these trees. Skink's going to be getting some shots in though. Tooth Roller's going to be immediately pulling back. They should probably charge in here and just run these guys over, but I suppose it's a little bit janky in the forest, so it's a bit of a pain. And the Lizardmen hordes do push up, because this Goblin Rock Lobber is starting to fire as well. Going to be getting some decent damage. Probably wants to target down the Saurus Warriors for the most part. No nice Temple Guard to munch on. And Night Goblin Fanatics going to be forcing out of the forest on top of these Skink Skirmishers, and if they haven't been spotted here, they'll start to tear these guys apart quite nicely. Little Goblins launching in here. Skink Skirmishers though doing a little 360 spin there out of nowhere, just stunting on these Nasty Skulkers, getting some shots in, but are getting pushed back quite effectively here by the Night Goblins. Greenskins taking a leaf out of the Dowie book here and going for a defensive geometry pick. Arachnarok Spider up here in the forest, looks like he's going to try and pop down on top of some of his croc score, but Nasty Skulkers have been caught out here, and this is the problem when you go up against someone who's so good at swarming. All his units he tried hiding different parts of the forest where he can kind of lure everything into the centre pocket are getting picked apart here just because they've been spotted by the mass amount of lizards marching into the front line. Really nice play here by A-Move, dragging these Skink Skirmishers through the Saurus Warriors and then getting these Night Goblins caught up on against these Saurus, who will mulch these guys apart. Maybe this one guy going really ham here. Oh, it does unfortunately go down, but he was leaping and going fanatic in the middle of all those Night Goblins. Skulker's trying to pull back to the main battle line, probably trying to solidify his forces a little bit here. Arachnarok Spider also deciding to fall back as well to this main battle line for a bit of protection, which I think is a pretty good shout. As the Slaughterer coming over here, might be able to pick on some targets quite effectively. Also might come in for some spells on this red crested Skink Chief. It looks like we do have a extended Curse of Midnight Wind popping down. We've seen him do this in the previous game as well, but it's going to be missing in fact, all of the Black Orcs, who will tear apart Saurus Warriors very effectively with their gigantic axes. The lizards will fight bravely, but they will unfortunately drag down. So it looks like it only really caught the one unit of Orc Boys, which isn't doing too much, to be honest. Goblin Rock Lobber up to 4 kills, nothing doing too crazy, but the swarms of Lizardmen have risen up these hills, easily overrun the Nasty Skulkers, and be swarming into the back line now, munching on these Night Goblin Archers and Goblin Rock Lobber. So, really nice play there, getting the Skink Cohort round the side. Black Orcs, though, holding the line in the centre. If they can rally to the Arachnarok Spider, they might be able to do some decent damage. As they're going for a snipe on these Skink Creatures of Heaven's, not a bad idea at all. Where's the little red-crested Skink boy? Is he down here? Yeah, he's being protected here right now. The war has been popped a little bit too late, unfortunately, but the Black Orcs will now demolish the Saurus Warriors wherever they find them, as they're trying to get up here and assist this more beleaguered unit as well. Ragnarok Queen doing a decent job overall, can probably summon her little brood down on top of these Skink Skirmishers and force them off, might be a good idea, otherwise they're slowly going to get picked apart and swarmed upon. Rallying Night Goblins in the distance. Next, we find some Saurus Warriors, nothing too much here. Night Goblins are going to be forced off as well, which is quite bad, as those guys could do some decent damage to the Cloxagor if saturated in, those guys are pinned down by the roadblock, which is the Black Orcs. Azak has gone in for a risky pick here, and I played a couple of games up against Ninja earlier where he did a similar thing with some Forest Dragons. I managed to swarm him and slowly drag them down, and there is no way a move is letting Azak get out of this situation. Cold One Spear is completely wrapped around. Yes, they have Soul Blight popped on them, lowering their armour. Azak will do some decent damage, and Black Orcs are rallying, so this could actually work out in his favour. If Azak can hold, not take too much damage, these Black Orcs can pin in and really do some huge work on these Cold One Spear Riders, but the damage taken in return is just too much. A nice wind blast going down those Nasty Skulkers. Arachnarok Spider also rallies, but it's all a little bit too late here. Could have been a really nice bait, luring all of A-Move's and Lizardmen forces in and then hitting them from the rear and the side of the Spider and the Black Orcs, but unfortunately, too little too late. Azak is forced off, and now he has found himself sandwiched between some mighty Cloxagor as well, and I think That is may seal the doom here of the Greenskins, which is very sad. Skulker's trying to get back and rally all his forces, trying to come back to the centre pocket. His formation, for the build he had, was a little bit too spread out, got all spotted by the much wider Lizman build, and then systematically picked apart, which we keep on seeing again and again from the current king. Ragnarok Queen trying his best, but completely surrounded by Cold One Spear Riders, who do have that bonus versus large. We'll have top score coming in as well, which, you know, they just smack really hard, so no matter what they hit, it's going to do some decent damage. So let's see, on periphery, Skink Cohort beating down Nasty Skull was not bad at all. Some troops rallying across the battlefield for the most part, but it looks like Azag the Slaughterer is going to glide quite happily off the battlefield there. No, he does in fact rally. 800 health, could possibly come back and do some nice magic shenanigans, but the rest of his army is en route. Ragnarok Spider is now running as well, and that's certainly going to set in army losses, and down he goes, but Azag the Slaughterer does get to come back and fight another day. So GG's overall. Big shout out to Baron as well, making his debut on the channel. Relatively new player as well, so always good to see new players brought in. His build, the Orc Boys I probably wouldn't pick in this matchup, but overall, apart from that, quite nice build, decent. Getting the Rock Lobber in there as well to deal with Temple Guard and so forth. I like the Ragnarok Queen pick and the Black Orcs. Azag is a pretty interesting choice as well up in the sky, but as I said, his army got too spread out and picked apart little bit by little bit. But very well done to the king. Yes, that is some advice. Great advice here by A-Move Baron, if you are listening to this. Bring 1, 2, or 3 spells, perhaps, rather than too many, because you just don't have enough Winds of Magic to get through them, and it's just a waste of money. So you should just try and pick and choose the ones where you can. So up next, we do have the mighty Elhal Cone. I don't think I have you on Steam, but if you can't find the lobby, let me know, and we'll sort out Steam invite. Password is 123, and the lobby is just called a Rubber Duck War King of the Hill, or Ducky King of the Hill, one of those type of things. But let's move him up now, and A-Move onto 5 wins. It is insane. We have the mighty Elhal Cone. Hopefully I spelled your name right there. I don't think I've got him on my friends list. Let's see. I'll drop him a message now. So hopefully he will be here. It doesn't look like he's online at the moment on Discord, but we'll give him a couple of minutes, and if not, we'll just move him down the list and bring him back in. But I understand if he couldn't make it, as it has been a rather long stream so far, and rather long queue. But we do have Elhal Cone, then Flying Taco Lucas, and then we have Mr. Dedus Fell as well. Nah, Baron Man, you did good, dude. Honestly, really good advice from A-Move there on the spell front. Bring 1 or 2 spells, it's better value. But it's the best way to learn is honestly to play players, and A-Move is incredibly powerful player. Won some of my tournaments before and so forth. I believe he's in the ECL finals and all sorts of crazy stuff, so. Cool, we'll give El Hokon a couple of minutes, but if not, Flying Taco, prepare yourself to try and overthrow the mighty. Hopefully. But the king is on a rampage here. Alpine Ridge is going to be the map. Super OG map from the very first Total War. Rome. It's taken a lot of changes since then, but big hill in the middle. Really thematic for Finns like King of the Hill and tournaments, as both competitors claw their way to the top, trying to raise that crown high. But also, you don't have to take the hill. It's a tactical decision. Do you take it, get visibility on your opponent? Do you let your opponent take it and shoot them off it? And there's lots of trees on the outside as well for sneaky flankings. 1 min. No worries, man. We will get you in. Renamed to God of the Hill today. He is doing so good. So it looks like Elhal Cone will be popping in just a second. If you can't find the lobby, send me a message on Discord, bro, and I will add you on Steam. and get you in, which is all good. I need to, right at the end of the game, I'm going to try and show you guys an image. Which, that sounds dodgy. Try and send you guys an image that Raptor's friend has sorted out, which could be a little, could become our new emblem on the Discord and stuff. It's really funny. In comes the mighty El Halcón representing the Extreme Meme team. We've already had Noob for Life represent them so far. I believe Flying Taco... Yeah, Flying Taco is definitely also Extreme Meme team as well. That's what a lot of those guys are about. Ooh. So, both these players, very, very potent adversaries, so should be good fun. So, Flying Taco, you will be up against up after this as well. I also need to speak to you. I will message you probably after this in a couple of weeks' time. I know you've already got 2 finals to play in, but in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to try and organise another Civil War. So we did a ODM Civil War. They've poured us on a special. So it's a 4-man tournament with only members from ODM, and they had to fight against each other in a really kind of thematic Civil War. I'm looking to do the same thing with other clans in the future. So Extreme Meme Team, obviously we've had a lot of people playing on the channel before representing that clan, very big clan. So we'll try and get you guys in as well for a Civil War if that's something you think your clan would be interested in. There's a lot of big clans going around though. QSA is another big one as well. I'm trying to think of all the different ones, but there's a ton, so it should be good fun. So that's going to try and become like a little bit of a breather between the more competitive Death Before Dishonest as well. Oh, looks like A move maybe AFK just a second. So I might just be grabbing a drink or so forth. Check Discord, we're all good. This is pick and ban, or how does it work? So the current king picks one and bans one. Current king picks one, bans one. Unit caps are on. Kill. So I hope you guys are enjoying so far. It's good to see so many people watching. This could be the biggest stream so far, actually. A lot of the recent ones have been doing very, very good. A lot of Death Before Dishonest are getting really good views, and so the King of the Hill, so I really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and spending your evening listening to my ramblings and watching pixels destroy other pixels. If you are enjoying, please do consider whacking that big old thumbs up button. If you enjoy this type of content, feel free to subscribe and all that good stuff. Yes. So it looks like he's going Lizardmen once again. This is like a dream stream for me. I'm just seeing so much Lizardmen action, so many different types of builds as well. And it looks like he's going Lizardmen, banning Tomb Kings. I despise Tomb Kings because I'm a Lizardman main myself. And your Shopsy Great Bows are the bane of my Total War existence. I hate them with everything inside me. Today is the day of the lizards. Yes, David the White Lizard, rise. Rise up. Is El Halcón going Britannia? Looks like he might be contemplating his picks. We need someone to be able to overthrow the king here. He's starting to become a little bit of a tyrant, destroying all who oppose him. But we do have 4 challenges left. So, QB rules plus... yeah. Looks like he's going Empire. I'm expecting to see a ton of gunneries here. Lots of guns and so forth. So we are not currently using the Warhammer Cup rules which we normally use in tournaments. That's because King of the Hill is a lot more of a chilled, laid-back kind of setting. Try and get a lot of new players in as well as the experienced players. So the rules is kind of stripped to its bare bone of having to attack and having unit caps on, so there's no kind of spamming. Should be good fun though. Empire versus Lizardmen. I'm expecting to see a kind of probably a very wide skink build once again coming in from the Lizardmen. Maybe mix them with a lot of Saurus Warriors as well, who do decent against Empire state troops. In fact, Saurus Warriors tear them apart very, very quickly. But El Halcón, I'm going to go for mass range, I think, or a ton of cavalry. Those would be my my guesses. And both of those can work on this map. Cannons, you can just sit back, let your opponent take the hill, and then shoot them off as they have to trudge all the way across the battlefield to you. Same time, Cav, you can whip around these flanks. Lots of trees as well for cover, for sneaky stabbings. It should be some really good fun. And this is El Halcone's debut on the channel, I believe. I've seen him play quite a bit just on IPL's channels and IPL streams and so forth, and I can definitely vouch she is a nasty player. Brett's vs Liz is such a hard matchup for Brett. It is disgustingly hard. I don't think it's the worst matchup in the game. I think Wood Elves versus Bretonnia is the worst matchup. It's so hard to pull off. I've seen some players do it. You can even do it with Way Watchers still, but it's so goddamn tough. A good way of doing I think is going double dragon, one of them being a Glade Lady. Glade Riders to nuke out Peasant Archers, and then you try and pick them apart and lure them into like Regiment Round Wild Riders and so forth, but it's really tough. Looks like the king is ready, just waiting on the challenger. The pretender for the throne. Should be good fun. So the last couple of maps, I am warning you guys, are going to be pretty memey. Because we had Aristodemos request Glooming Woods, I believe it is called, and Raptor has also requested a map as well. And they're going to be disgustingly nasty. So it'd be a fun way to end the stream, though. It's always good to do a little bit of a meme at the end of the day. I bet El Halcone is going to do better than me. El Halcone is very nasty, bro. Not well, as a person, he's great, I'm sure. He seems like a really nice person. But I mean, as a player, he's a very good top-tier player. And will tear apart your armies. So it's loading in now. So yes, OG map from Rome Total War, which I love. I'm assuming it's been in every Total War, but I can't confirm as I haven't played all of them. But nice big hill in the middle. Now, do you push it for that line of sight? It's quite nice sometimes to drop a Vanguard unit up here just so you can spy out your opponent's army. Which is actually what skirmishers used to do in real life. Skirmishers were kind of thrown out in front of the army to do a little bit of damage, but mainly to mask your deployment, because deployment is quite a big thing. Oh, looks like we have some pretty crazy stuff coming in from the Extreme Meme Team representative. So let's have a little look at El Halcone's army. Actually, it looks like setting up. That's cool, we're fine. We'll go for it. So, front line of cheap and cheerful spearmen with shields. Almost said shieldsmen there. Going to be there just to hold the line, push back skinks and so forth, and allow the rest of his army to really do the damage. Then we have a core of Sigma Sons, flanked either side by a couple of swordsmen, probably going to get pushed up in a second, just to do a little bit of extra work against skink cohorts and so forth. Looks like some more spearmen in the back as well. So we have a couple of units of crossbowmen, just doing some nice light damage. The silver bullets as well, regiment renowned handgunners have Vanguard, do magic damage, lots of armor piercing, and of course have Stalk, so do very good for themselves. We also have the Templehof Luminarch, regiment renowned Luminarch here, which is pretty hilarious. Going to be getting some nice long range firepower in indeed. Also has a net of its own accord. For leadership, we do have a light wizard coming in with a net as well, so I can see a bit of a theme here. Going to be trying to net down big units and snipe them with the big boys. We also have Marcus Wolfhart here in a nice vanguard position who can net as well, but if he gets caught, he is incredibly squishy. So now let's have a little look at A Move's army. Up front, we have a couple of units of Chameleon Skinks, the most pesky and irritating skirmish unit in the game, but I absolutely adore them. Then we have Red Crested Skinks mixing with skink cohorts with Javelin all the way across the front line. Looks like actually just mainly skink cohorts, but with one Red Crested either flank, one of them being the Regiment of Renowned cohort of Sotek, who refuse to die. We have a Skink Priest of Heavens here, coming in with Windblast and Harmonic Convergence. We also have some Horned Ones, hell yes! Seeing these guys in action is fantastic. The elite of the elite Cav for the Lizmen. Don't get to see them too often, but they look so cool, their little gold masks. And very expensive though. We have some Cold One Spear Riders in the back as well, including the Poho Hopak cohort regiment round version, and some more Cold Ones all the way along the back. Yes, so mainly cold ones, but one unit of Horned Ones in the mix as well. And for leadership, we have a Saurus Old Blood, who looks like himself is going to be riding on top of just a Cold One, so no Horned One for him. But really fun, fast-moving army overall. Should do some decent work. No Max and Barbs, which is a little bit upsetting, but you know, we've seen good play from them so far. Alright, and it looks like they're good to go. For the net lord, El Halcone, my game was muted this entire time. Lol, that's kind of funny. For the net lords, El Halcone coming in with those nets. Got 3 nets in his army, or 3 different units that can net. That Skink Priest is going to get sniped out pretty hard though. I'd probably hide him behind a tree for now. Wolfheart very good at taking down those squishy lords. Looks like he is preparing to shoot, but no, instead decides to fall back a little bit, and some pesky chameleon skinks can do some really decent damage to him. Oh, looks like we have a load of cav that I didn't go through. We have 3 units of Empire Knights, or 1 Empire Knight, and 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun as well. Where were those guys hiding? Anyway, at least we managed to catch it, and a load of Knights didn't kind of arrive on the battle suddenly with some sneaky reinforcements. Chameleon Skinks, really good counter to Marcus here, doing some decent damage off the bat. But we'll need to fall back as Knights of the Blazing Sun are pushing up. However, they don't really want to tangle too long with Cold One Spear Riders. These guys are more anti-infantry based than anti-large. And the Lizardmen's swarm is starting to march up over top of the hill and coming down to this very defensive position. But there's no line camping, as you can see. There's plenty of room to sneak around the sides. Javelin's been thrown in as well. Luminarch looks like it was preparing to shoot, but it probably out these Cold Ones or the Skink as it does cancel its animation and start falling back. We're going to get a pretty hefty surround here by the Lizardmen in general. But these Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to get some really nice charges on the front of the Skink cohorts, just demolishing them and basically taking no damage in return. There's not too much over here to retaliate. Cold One Riders could counter-charge here, but we've got a feeling the Knights of the Blazing Sun, yeah, simply going to pull out. And again, more cycle charging in the front. This is really nice play here. Skinks are a little bit wiser to it this time. Do start to fall back as a little bit of lag comes in, unfortunately. Oops, sorry for the sirens in the background there. Sounds like some police are going by. Luckily, they haven't found me yet. Cold One Spear Riders, though, going to be pushing these Empire Knights off. Nice counterplay by a move there. Frontline engagement is starting to get underway. Skinks will do okay up against the Spearmen. Red-crested Skinks, Red Round ones in particular, will do much, much better. And trying to force their way into the back here and shut down these crossbowmen. In distance, we do have the Horn ones still hidden. I wonder if he's forgotten about them or if it's just keeping them for the late game. Going to be bringing them in, which is sometimes nice, having a few units in reserve. And the Empire Knights do hop on top of some Chameleon Skinks, which is really bad for the little dino boys themselves. Big net coming down on the Cold One Spear Riders, put them in place with some Spearmen, and allowing these Empire Knights to escape, which is some pretty nice play. Unfortunately, a little bit of lag coming in. Hopefully it should start to sort itself out here a little bit. Looks like, yeah, it's coming. As you see, nice arc and fire coming by those crossbowmen. Will do some very good damage to those Skink boys. But the Poho Pack do push themselves into the back line here, on top of these crossbowmen. But looks like they're going to be able to escape, maybe protected by the Knights of the Blazing Sun and the Swordsmen. We do have a net come down on the cohort of Sotek, pinning them in place, but they're still fighting these Spearmen, and the Horn ones are now being pushed up, and they can be very deadly here. Everywhere else, it looks like the Lizardmen are swarming, but they are taking heavy casualties to do so. Saurus Oldblood hopping on top of these Knights and force them off as well. Skink Priest of Heavens is going to be going down. Unfortunately, looks like he's getting slowly sniped by Marcus Wolfheart. Some Chameleon Skinks are shattered off the field by some good play of the Knights of the Blazing Sun, though, who are taking quite a lot of damage in retaliation. Horned ones popping up through the forest. They will trade very effectively with most of this Empire army, to be honest. But they need to get in there and shut those guys down. Temple Half Luminarch up just to 1 kill now. Not done too much. Ho-Ho Pack in hot pursuit as well. But looks like it's going to be able to escape behind a wall of spearmen. The net's coming down once again, keeping these Horned ones in place. But he will eventually start running out of those nets. Looks like the Skink Priest of Heavens was sniped out as well. But Knights of the Blazing Sun slowly going down, getting one last charge into the back of the Skink cohort. Unfortunately, he's deployed so close to the edge, there's a good chance this unit will rout off the field completely as the swarms of Lizardmen do start to push through. This Saurus Oldblood needs to get moving now, get back in active, probably start hunting down Marcus Wolfheart. Not too much protecting him, and he's using a lot of his nets up. Cold One Spear Riders fending off Empire Knights and getting into this juicy core here. Back line, but they need to shut down the Silver Bullets. Looks like Red Crested Skinks are on top of that. Horned ones did do some decent damage to these Knights of the Blazing Sun, but now getting pinned in by Spearmen, not really where they want to be. Another huge net comes down. This must be so infuriating to play against, as Cold One Spear Riders and Red Crested Skinks all get caught up in it, allowing the Luminarch to escape, and Marcus Wolfheart himself, who is now turning and doing some no-scopes of his own. Another net coming in as well, really trying to net down these guys and stop that mobility of Amu's army, which is a really good shout because it's swarming quite heavily. Spearmen fighting Skinks. We've got another unit which needs to come back, and the Skink Priest has rallied. If he can just get one more spell, that could be really key, as the Empire are starting to be swarmed quite heavily here, but the Lizardmen starting to falter in their approach. These guys, though, nice play here, getting the Horned ones into the backline on top of these Silver Bullets, and even with all these nets, the Empire really started to struggle to contain the mass mobility here of the Lizardmen. We have some swordsmen, it looks like, just basic swordsmen, yeah, rallying in the field here. Crossbowmen, though, are starting to rout. Knights of the Blazing Sun, these may be the ones who were close to routing, have rallied, but they're getting dragged down by Cold One Spear Riders and Skink cohorts overall. Looks like some more Knights of the Blazing Sun have broken off, and that Luminarch has been hunted by Horned Ones, not where he wants to be. Unfortunately, the Silver Bullets plus Crossbowmen have been forced off. Really good play so far, breaking into that backline, even with all the nets. The swarm has been too much so far. Harmonic Convergence popped in some Skink cohorts, which allow them to punch through these spearmen pretty effectively, and Cold Ones are rampaging. Once again, another net coming down, saving this Light Wizard and Marcus Wolfhart, but some Chameleon Skinks are active, should probably just pop on him now. Cohort of Sotek needs to get active again as well. Crossbowmen in the back did rally, but they're being hunted by a Saurus Old Blood now, not really where they want to be. And Knights of the Blazing Sun were forced off, and I can't see these guys coming back, only 8 models left. The Luminarch, very powerful unit overall, but it can't carry a game on its back. It needs protection, it needs to fire down key targets, but it does run down the Skink Priest of Heavens, which is quite nice, forcing that guy off. And there's still a healthy Light Wizard and a very healthy Marcus Wolfhart, but he is not the type of character who can carry a game on his back. But a lot of the Lizardmen forces seem to be wavering here and breaking. Quite dangerous here for them. Red Crescent Skinks being forced off. Hangars are being shut down over here. But a very healthy Saurus Old Blood is going to be a nightmare to deal with. Up in the trees, we have some Cold One Spear Riders and some healthy Chameleon Skinks. This is an incredibly close game. Cohort of Sotek dragging down some Spearmen. I don't know which way to call it. I think the Lizardmen have the advantage here. Looks like they've managed to force off the Luminarch as well. But they have very healthy leadership core and just a ton of Sigma Suns, Swordsmen, Spearmen, and there's not that many Lizardmen forces left to take them down. So it looks like Blazing Suns do completely shatter over here. Where are those Horned Ones? Cold One Spear Riders over here. Cold One Spear Riders here. Have the Horned One's been completely broken? That's a shame. I'd like to see those guys get some more action. No, they're up over here in the high ground, just doing their bits. So it's pretty close overall. Mark has been very well protected so far. Another net's coming down and allow these Spearmen to hop on top of these Cold Ones. Actually, Cold Ones, they don't care about no net. They are simply going to keep on moving because, you know, it's what Lizardmen do. They don't abide by the laws of physics. They actually managed to escape there. But I think they probably would have been safe anyway. Those Spearmen were lagging a little bit behind. Skinks trying to do some damage to Spearmen, but they need to start getting on top of Marcus, and who is fairly isolated now. Bring over the Saurus Old Blood. Yeah, it looks like he is going to be hunting him down now. Horned Ones returning to the field as well. And the Skink cohort, though, trying to chase down this Luminarch. It has rallied. Now, if El Halcone hasn't noticed this, it will get caught and dragged down. But if he has, he might be able to loop around, or even put it in guard mode and start sniping out some high-value targets. Another net has come down on the Saurus Old Blood. Marcus going to be taunting here, just retreating back slightly, parrying up a shot. Let's see how much damage this does. 2,800 health for now. 2,300 damage, so pretty... Oh, not damage, but down to 2,300 health. Doing some decent work, but he is now caught by Skink cohorts, and he may struggle to escape there. All of these swordsmen are starting to break, as well as the Light Wizard getting caught here in combat. Not where he wants to be, surrounded by unbreakable Skinks. And the mobile core of Amu's army is still fairly active, can now swoop around, pin in Marcus, and or maybe just push away the Sigma Suns, keep them away from the battlefield. Luminarch is getting forced off in the distance there. And overall, so far, Cold One Spear Riders hunting down Sigma Suns. Just do a bit of psycho charge there and come back into the main fight with them. Light Wizard being dragged down as well. Balance power is still very, very even, but the Saurus Old Blood is going to mulch on Wolfric with no problems at all. Flinging him to the ground there. A victorious roar coming from that Cold One he is riding on. And Wolfhart down to about half health now, just a bit above. 2,000 health overall. But he can't win those melee engagements, unfortunately. Lots of Empire rallying to his cause, trying to get back into the main fight. Skink Priest in the distance. Looks like some kind of spell is going down on him. Oh, Luminarch probably coming in for a nice little shot. The Skink cohorts, though, are pushing that off as we speak. And another net coming down, trying to allow Marcus to rally here. Looks like that net didn't actually catch the Saurus Old Blood, and his net is very short-lived, unfortunately. He's trying to get in there, but again, hunted down by the Old Blood and his little crew here of cronies, the Skink cohorts, looking like his kind of like little sidekicks there. Doing some decent damage to Marcus, but he's being pretty tricky, running around where he can. I feel like the Lizardmen have this, but there's still a very healthy Light Wizard as well. 20 of the cohorts still left alive to drag him down. Cold One Spear Riders fighting Spearmen, not where they want to be. Use your added mobility, I think, loop around and hunt down the bigger targets. Luminarch in the distance has finally been forced off and going to be escorted off. And this Skink Priest, plucky little fellow, has managed to survive so long. 270 health, and he must have some spells around as well. Another net of Ammontok coming in to the Source Old Blood. And Marcus once again to kind of be a bit of a troll here and escape. But we now have Cold One Spear Riders coming in as well. Looks like he's leaving Marcus for the most part and trying to tear apart his army, knowing that Marcus can't deal with kind of just mass amounts of enemies being left. Light Wizard is starting to be broken. He's wavering 8 leadership. Maybe Marcus can rally him just by his kind of sheer presence and force of will. Nice little shot coming in though. On top of that poor Skink Priest, down to 73 health, has completely shattered him. So nice pick there by Marcus, going out with a bit of a bang. But he himself has been broken. And A-Move once again holding on to his crown. Ridiculous performance from him so far. The whole stream, really, really impressive. Great game. GG's in the chat there from both the players. Always good to see. Great kind of sportsmanship all round. Second Sons down to just 2 models, fighting to the death there, but they are gone. That was close. That was insanity. That was pretty damn crazy, I'm not going to lie. Overall, I like both picks. I mean, all those nets dropping down to try and allow the Luminarch to pick off big targets, but there wasn't many big targets for him to target. Yes, target down the Skink Priest and the Saurus Old Blood and maybe some of the Cav, but there was such a swarm, such a huge long battle line. The presence on the map was really in the Lizardman's favour, and they managed to just slowly get into that back line and swarm down those more range and kind of lightly armoured troops. Really nice play though overall by El Hal Cohn, making his debut on the channel, protecting those guys for a long time and nearly snatching the game there. Multiple points. It looked like the Lizardman attack was starting to waver. 101 kills on Horned Ones though is fantastic to see. Good luck, chap. Nice to see. GG. The rain continues. So, Flying Taco is up next. Do I have you on Steam? I don't think I do. So if you just want to join when ready, that is all good. The Lizardmen untouchable right now. Then we have 2 more games coming up after this as well. So 3 games left to go on the chat. Can someone just quickly let me know how long the stream's been going on for? I'd appreciate that a lot. Oh, sorry, I didn't really focus on what the Luminarch was shooting. No, sorry about that, Glorious Feeder. Well, that was pretty damn good. Hey, Flying Taco has entered. Oh, and Flying Taco did damage. It was friendless. Perfect. Cool. Did I change the scoreboard? No, I didn't. Okay, aim up to 6 wins. Need to calm down, bro. Mr. Flying Taco. Oh, so my Steam just sank weird, but looks like we're all good. I'll let them sort out. They know what's up. I'm assuming we're going to get more Lizardmen action. No one can stop the dinosaurs yet so far. The great plan is coming along nicely. 2 hours. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, man, that map obviously didn't help you out there, Al Halcone, unfortunately. I really like the build, though. It's a pretty damn fun build. That must be so infuriating to play against with all of those nets, but really nice play overall. You almost pulled it through. There was one point the Lizardmen looked like they were wavering quite badly. A lot of their units started to break off. Yeah, no, great play, man. Always happy to have you back on the channel as well. Now you're in the Discord, it's easy to organise as well. I know you played in quite a few tournaments before as well, so if you want to get involved in those in the future, just keep an eye on the Discord. You picking lizards, I assume? Yes, he is indeed. El Anguil is the map. Super fun map. We'll talk about it a little bit more once we hop in and we're waiting for the players to load in. 2 hours so far. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So we do have Flying Taco. Then we have the mighty... Let's see who's after that. We have Lucas. And then we have Daedalus 4. Will you ban counts? Nah. Harpy Council. Interesting. I'm expecting a crazy build here from Flying Taco because it is a notoriously tough matchup for the Counts. But saying that, so normally what people do in this matchup, Lizardmen go for kind of a death blob of Temper Guard, Big Dinosaurs, and Lord Croak, and it's really tough to deal with. But that's not the way Amu's been playing. He's been going a lot more skiing, it's going a lot more skirmish. I'm expecting to see it more of a Salamander Razordon build. But Flying Taco may well be prepared for that. Want to test out an army might be an idea, but I will. No problem. Always good for people to experiment and try out new stuff. It is a tough one, Glorious Fear, I agree 100%, but it looks like he has a plan, and I've seen what Flying Taco can do behind a keyboard, and it is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Can't bring more than 3 regiment around. If you guys want that off, I can sort it. If they both agree to not have unit caps, I'm fine to have that off, but when newer players come in, we'll pop it back on. We'll see. Going to take a quick sip of water. So apologies for the squeaking. Keep my voice active. I don't care. We'll keep it on for now. Should be good fun. I'm really interested to see what this Vampire Counts build is. Cool, looks like they're both ready. Let's get this cracking. Can Flying Taco throw down this terrifying rain from A-Move Hacker, who's been on absolute fire today? And these guys will actually be meeting in the Season 3 finale of Death Before Dishonor when we get to that. They are both the current 2 champions of the season so far. We also need to do the Season 2 finale, which Flying Taco is a part of. But that's Flying Taco, Lord Zeus, Chosen One, and Noob for Life. But it's a little bit of struggle of organising it. I think Lord Zeus is very busy at the moment. So we went ahead with Season 3 anyway, and we're backtrack to the finals when we can. Just a cheeky heads up as well for those watching. I think we are going to be streaming tomorrow as well. I haven't fully decided what it's going to be. We did have an 8-man tournament kind of playing in the background offline, so I may be showing the replays of that, or we may be doing the next Death Before Dishonor, and we might just do that next week instead, the 8-man one, but we'll have to wait and see. So let's have a little look at this experimental build that Flying Taco wanted to try out. For his lordship, we do have Henrik Kemmler. What a hero here. Henrik Kemmler, someone I basically never see. He is on foot here. And he has Lord of the Undead, so he can summon Krell, Cloak of Mist and Shadows. We have Resurgence as well, and spell-wise, Raise Dead, the Dance Macabre, and Invocation of Nehek. Looks like he's also brought his Chaos Tombblade, which is pretty cool. He has a Necromancer as well, up on top of a Corpse Cart, which looks like he's going to be used as a bit of a baton here, coming in with the Forbidden Rod, just trying to get that more magic. Then for his main line, it looks like in the front we have Zombies, the most OP unit next to Peasants, going to be there to take initial charges and saturate troops on top of them. Main line, we have Skeleton Warriors, including the Regiment of Renowned version, so a little bit more tanky there. Should be able to deal with skinning cohorts a little bit more effectively. 2 units of Crypt Horrors for a bit of added punch as well. These guys looking particularly disgusting today. In the back, we have some more Skeleton Spearmen. And then we have the Claw of Nagash, Regiment Renowned Mortis Engine. Now, in this matchup, I like taking Krokgar, because he's a big, nasty monster, which they tend to start to deal with, and Hand of the Gods nukes this thing down to about half health in one shot. It's very powerful. Up in the sky, we have 2 Terrorgeist, which I think is a must for their anti-large up against the Dinos. And of course, they're quite fast as well, so should be able to deal relatively comfortably with hopping on top of hunting packs and so forth. So Amu, for the first time in the stream, is going to be brilliant. A bit more of an elite build. He is coming in with some Temple Guard and a little bit of a Doom Blob here. So we have 2 units overall, no, 3 units, one of which is the Star Chamber Guardians. Arguably my favourite unit up there with the Wild Hunters of Kurnos. These guys look incredibly cool with their blazing halberds here. And a very tanky overall, including giving Guardian to heroes and lords who are nearby. We have 2 Basildon Solar Engines, doing some nice long-range damage, and it's been a pain to deal with, being big nasty monsters. Some Saurus Warriors and Skink Cohorts to add, oh, that's Temple Guard there, sorry, just some Saurus Warriors to add a bit of width. We have some Cold One Spear Riders for backline protection, the Umbral Tide, regiment-renowned Salamanders, who do of course have Stalk, the Amaxum Barbs as well. For his lord, we have Gorrock, who's going to be incredibly tanky, but could get bogged down amongst Saurus and Skeletons, not really where he wants to be. With Guardian, he's going to be so goddamn tough. We also have a Skink Priest of Beast coming with that Manticore summon and the Wild form as well. So pretty damn fun build, going for a little bit of a blob, taking this game very seriously. Of course, he knows his opponent very well, and they're pretty damn good. Can't say I've seen that plan before. We'll see how this goes. Stolen Soul Engines just trudging along here, swinging his little tail quite happily there. Wonder what they're going to start trying to target out. Do these guys do magic damage? I don't think they do. They do! Okay, well that Gaze and Nagash could be in trouble. Long range magic damage coming into that could be pretty damn deadly, but it looks for now they're going to be doing some damage onto Crypt Horrors. Lots of healing though available for the undead. Did that just splatter one to the ground? It did that. Gary! No! Poor Gary has been smited there. Doing some really nice damage here. They do have regeneration of course as well. I believe these do a mixture of fire and magic damage, so they're going to do huge work on top of these guys. At the same time, might want to start focusing down those Terror guys. But if you can spread the damage, it will stretch the healing that the Vampire Counts can deliver. Looks like a big shot coming into the Terror guys here. Max and Bab's going to be pushing up, but it's going to be a struggle, I think, for them and the Umbral Tide to be protected. There is so many more enemy troops, and this swarming is going to be real. And Max and Bab's shooting into zombies. Not going to be doing too much damage. I know it looks like they are hitting the Skeleton Warriors a little bit, but only managed to drag down one of the fellows so far. It's going to be really hard to protect these guys. I mean, they can saturate on top of Temple Guard and so forth, but they're pretty squishy in their own right. But never count out a move's micro, as we've seen. It's been very potent and powerful so far. It looks like it's got a nice box around them for now. Umbral Tide is starting to unleash hell upon these Crypt Horrors. Huge damage coming in here. These guys are really worryingly getting a bit low. Solar Engines are beaming down those Terror guys as well, trying to keep everything at bay. Nice Dowie box formation. Of course, a move known for his Dowie play as well. Temple Guard just sitting back now, allowing the Axe and Barbs just to get a few shots in. Looks like going after the Necromancer. This complete surround is starting to happen. Temple Guard trying to hold back a load of units here, but Krell is summoned into the back line. Really nice play here. So some Skeleton Warriors into the box. Looks like Saurus Warriors and these Cold One Sparrows need to react. They've pushed out the Umbral Tide now, which may look good. Looks like they've right over the side, but take the Terror guys. It looks like they're bombing in over here, and now get on top of them whilst they have no protection. So Terror guys going for a bit of a snipe on the Basildon and the Skink Priest. Looks like a summon has gone down. I saw I heard a Manticore coming into play. We do have a big hill coming down here as well. Wise and Wild form keeping his Temple Guard nice and active. There we go. In comes the Pharaoh Manticore. And Krell is getting absolutely destroyed here. What whacked him? He is getting destroyed. I think Gorrock must have got onto him for some time, because the Max and Barbs and Umbral Tide are too pushed away to do too much damage. And he is taking an absolute hammer in here, but he is going to be healing up nicely there. Pharaoh Manticore was summoned though to hunt him down, and it is going to beat the crap out of him. And unfortunately, Henrik could be going down here. Looks like some zombies have been summoned trying to drag that Manticore through them, but Henrik has gone down here. 127 health. Is he going to be able to rally? I don't think so. Terror Guy's been having to be pulled out of this main fight to try and protect him. Looks like he has managed to hop on top of the Manticore. Kemler, leadership minus 26. His healing is kind of battling his health here. Looks like the Umbral Tide have managed to escape for the most part. Doing huge damage onto the Crypt Horrors, getting really great value overall. Henrik is alive for now. Make sure they have no questions. And the Basildon Surgeon has been picked apart by the Terror guys here. The Star Chamber Guardians to focus on killing basic skeletons, but Henrik does go down here. And that is a massive early blow to the Vampire Counts, because all of that magic they have just lost. Umbral Tide being chased by Crypt Horrors, but they are starting to crumble now, so they should just be able to outpace them, turn around and do a decent amount of damage. Cold One Spear Riders in the back, trying to protect them as much as possible. Looks like we have another summon possibly coming down here, which isn't a bad pick here. Someone going after Neck Monster, really nice pick here. Try and take out the remaining leadership. There he comes in. The remaining leadership of the Vampire Counts. Krell fighting strong, though, doing some decent damage to Cold One Spear Riders. Umbral Tide launching shots into the claw from the gash, but these guys, I believe, just do the fire magic, no magic here. Terror Knight's going to be hopping on top of them, though, so and shut them down. Looks like Bastildon has got free, should be getting some shots in where possible. Manticore trying to get over here to assist these Cold One Riders and let the Umbral Tide go free. Looks like the Maximum Barbs have taken a huge amount of damage, but up to 12 kills and getting that decent AP damage in onto the claw here. Skink Priest also trying to hunt that guy down where it can. But for the most part, it's going to be a big struggle now to take down these Temple Guards, who are so meaty and healthy still. And really nice micro by Aim. I can't stress how good he's been so far in this King of the Hill. Pulling these guys apart, dragging them back, keeping them alive, and just getting in that damage where he can. It's a lot tougher than it looks. So Engine looks like he's just chilling, probably trying to shoot into Terrorgeist where he can. Manticore needs to get active again, otherwise he's just going to slowly disappear. Oh, nice little juke there coming in, though, by the big guy in the back. So, Claw from the Gash is starting to go down. Gorok very, very slow for him. You can see him trudging along, but incredibly healthy so far. Trying to hunt it down, but it's just going to be bouncing around, trying to isolate these Temple Guard on this flank and rescue that side. So, Temple Guards just fighting the zombies, really. A few Skeleton Warriors as well there. Sorry, a little bit of a burp. Sergeant Guns up to 132 kills, mulching fools. We have a laser zoom bias there up into the sky. Umbral Tide, though, used really effectively, assisting the Feral Manticore and the Maximum Barbs in taking down this Terror guys. And I think that is going to be game. There is not enough on the Vampires to really carry the day. They still have one fairly healthy Terror guys who's going to be able to pop on this Solar Engine and force him off. But when he comes back, he has to try and shut down the Bastillodon, the Umbral Tide, the Temple Guard, all at the same time, and it's just not possible. Gazing the Gash going down slowly as well to the constant Temple Guard. Gorok has caught this Necromancer. Nice little spin attack just showing off for you guys right there. Doing some decent damage. Another little... Oh, I thought he was going to go for a full spin there. And the Necromancer is slowly being shut down. Looks like the Gazing the Gash is exploding in ethereal fire here. And there's just not too much I think that Flying Taco can do. And I think the reign of A move is still going to continue here. Little Gary getting a nice shot in there, trying to avenge his brother and give him... Well, not avenge him, he's still alive, trying to get some help there. So Terrorgeist is thinking about finishing off the job. Yeah, trying to get out there. But unfortunately, Maximum Barb's doing some really weird firing arcs now, hopping up on top of over. I suppose they're getting over top of these Temple Guard. And that is going to be game. A move remains undefeated. Insanity. Pure insanity here. Yeah, look, I've popped the same plus physical resistant item. Damn, Gorok savaged him. Yeah. I think, yeah, that was huge because all of the magic he lost, all his healing, all those different spells, it changes the game completely. And without that, possibly, he still did some really good work. Damaging a lot of these units, but didn't quite have enough to hunt down all the packs. But if he had summon still coming in from Henrik, that is so much easier. Forces them to deal with him, and once again stresses A moves micro. So I actually quite like the build, but it wasn't quite enough. And unfortunately, 178 kills, 245, 128. Those Temple Guard rock solid, and Gorok carried the day. What's his name? Come on. That was pretty damn crazy. What's up, going to plays? How's it going, Zeus? Hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're doing all good in the herd. So up next we do have Lucas. So do get ready to join when these guys hop out. Password is 123. Yo, Pacta's here. Oh, Pacta, are you hopping into the... Let's see. So I need to quickly read from my Discord a little bit. Okay, no, it looks like he's just saying hello in the Discord. Perfect. Cool, cool. So, Lucas, it is your time to shine. Did I add Lucas? Let's double check. Hopefully Lucas is here. Keeper, it is your time. You're up. Cool, just sent him the password and whatnot. And we are going to start moving on to some of the maps. Outer Stamos requested map. ... So, expect bad things to happen. So, Gloomin Woods it is. Which is going to be an absolute nightmare of a map. So we just have the 2 games left to go. Can anyone stop a move? I don't know if they can. So, Keykeeper is his name, I think, on Steam. And a move up to 7 wins. Can he go the full distance? He'd be the first player ever to be king the entire game. Cool. Looks like we're all good. This is one massive forest in the centre, lol. It's not bad. Cool. Let's give Lucas a couple of minutes to hop in. So I'm just if you can't find it, to admin Steam. Storage chain Discord. Yeah, looks like we're all good. I'm running out of build ideas. There's more dinos. More dinos. Actually, if you guys have any build ideas for Emu, feel free to chuck them in the chat. Actually, let's do like a full. What's it going to be? Saurian. I'm trying to think of the best way of doing like a combining Saurus with Rohan. Saurhirian build. Cool, let's give Lucas a couple more minutes. If not, we'll just put him to the end of the queue and get in people before him. Should be all good. So I'm just checking through a load of stuff. Looks like everyone is all good, not too many questions. But thank you for sticking with me so far, guys. It's been a pretty damn fun stream so far. Good to see so many new faces and old faces as well re-emerging. Cool. Daedalus, if you want to hop in, feel free. We can always put Keykeeper in the next one if you make it in before him. So password is 123. The lobby is, I think it's like King of the Hill Ducky or Ducky King of the Hill. It's pretty self-explanatory. You'll be able to see it. So if you want to hop in, password 123. Whoever gets here first, we'll just play that game, and then the other one can come back if all is good and heard. Is anyone playing in the ECL tomorrow, by the way? Ah, it looks like Turin is streaming actually as we speak. Which is good to see. Looks like we've got a few people going over there, so I'll probably hop over there and eat my dinner whilst watching it afterwards. Cool. Well, we're going to invite in... because Keykeeper is not responding. You on top of him, bro. Cool. Yeah, looks like he is getting ready to hop in. Cool, cool. So it may just be the one game unless Keykeeper does get back to me. I don't see lobby though. Send me Steam ID. Cool. I'll add him to a friend and get him in. And we will try and keep it moving as fast as possible. Cool. That has come through. Cool. Send him a request. So it should pop up here in a second. Yep. So I think his name is Wired something on here. So let's wait for him to accept. And we better hop in. Glooming Woods. I don't think I've played on this map. It looks like a big old trench of some trees in it. But Aristodemus did recommend this. So hopefully when he comes back and sees this is for you, buddy. And hopefully you enjoy the absolute terrifying map that it will be. Let's check. Open invites. Has he been added to my friends list now? Yes, he is online. Perfect. Hey, here he is. Welcome. And we will change his name on the scoreboard from Keykeeper to Protocol. We'll see if he can manage to pull that crown from the cold, dead clutches of A-Move's hands. Or will A-Move just, saunter through and, well, he must be pretty knackered by now. It's quite stressful playing this many games in a row. So many close games as well against some really good players. So it should be interesting to see if he manages to hold it together and end out the stream with his crown. This could be the last game. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask now. Hopefully we will have another game afterwards if Lucas does decide to come back. Looks like he is playing Total Warhammer, so... Cool, cool. So do you pick and ban one? Yes, that is it. I'm assuming he's going Lizardmen. We've had Lizardmen every single game now, which is the best thing in the world. And Lizardmen victory after Lizardman victory, although we have had one Lizardman defeat, which is a little unfortunate on that Lizardman showdown, which was against Noob for Life, I believe. That was a pretty crazy close game. So A-Move has certainly not come through this unscathed, taken a lot of damage as he's gone on, but he has managed to claim the crown so far. Oh, just refresh my stream. It looks like it has frozen on my phone. Make sure you guys are all good. Come on. Yes, looks like we're back. Cool, cool. Cool. Let those guys sort their picks and bans and we'll get going. Just going to have another sip of my drink. Just keeping my voice okay. And we're good to go. Finally, some Skaven. Daniel, is your favourite. He's going Wood Elves and banning Brett. No Lizardmen. I mean, he has just won. Let's see how many games it is so far. What's the streak? 7 games in a row with Lizardmen. So, I'll give him that. He's mixing up, going Wood Elves. Bring in the Bretonians. Perhaps Protocol will bring Lizardmen. the lizardmen learn to pick up berries. Let's see how scaly these wood elves are. We may yet get some Skaven. Beastmen. I think that's actually a really tough matchup for the Beastmen. Now, Beastmen can swarm. I used to pick Beastmen all the time up against Wood Elves. Swarming Centaurs, good answer for Wild Riders, pushing them off. You have so much battlefield presence, but you do not account for one nasty beastie. Durfu is an unbelievable god of war in this matchup. Huge damage, really hard to deal with. Bad map for them, though. What is this heresy? No, Lizardmen, I'm upset as you are, man. I really am. But yeah, Durfu, such tank, so hard to deal with. Saturated on top of Treekin, Eternal Guard. It is an absolute nightmare to deal with. Or Double Dragon. Double Dragon does huge work up against Beastmen. They can't compete in the aerial game. Allows the dragons to get perfect picks they want and just slowly drag down their opponent. But hey, here's the king, and we are his mere peasants. You're damn right. A-Move can do pretty much whatever he wants. He could, I mean, no one's obviously catching his streak at this point. There's hopefully 2 games left. This could be the final one if Lucas doesn't show. But Raptor, if your game is up and loaded, we could always chuck you in Lucas's place instead. I'm going to quickly check Discord, because I did send a message. But he hasn't replied, so unfortunately, yeah, may miss his chance, because I do need to go get dinner relatively shortly. Gonna do myself some tacos. Exterminator squad. So it should be interesting to see. I mean, I say the best way to go is, you know, big Durfu and lots of dragons and that type of stuff, but A-Move is continuously throughout the stream picks like wild builds which he's managed to work very effectively. So I wouldn't be surprised if he brought a whole load of units which we never see and make it work somehow by some wild magic. And after this, hopefully we have one more game so we can get out Raptor's map. Let's quickly hop into Discord and see what it was. He sent me it somewhere. Maybe it's on the main Discord? Who knows, I can always ask him anyway when we get to it. Cool, looks like A-Move is ready, just waiting on Protocol. I'm not sure how experienced the player Protocol is, but this is his debut on the channel. Tacos, they're going to be flying. Mate, I wouldn't be able to catch flying taco, I don't think. I'm just going to do some regular ass tacos. I've got loads of stuff from the shop. I actually had Mexican for lunch as well, so I've gone full on. Next time you see me, I'm going to have a face cam with a big old mustachio, sombrero, all the stereotypes. That is indeed the plan. Looks like Protocol is ready, so let's get good to go. Oh, looks like... is he ready? Yeah, so he's ready. Maybe he hasn't seen A-Move's little tick there, he's just waiting for him to respond. But we were already up whilst they get going. And I can just hang out with you guys a little bit. So thank you. I mean, some of you guys have been around literally from the very beginning of the stream, and we must be starting to push towards the 3-hour mark now, I assume. It's a nice big old fat stream. The King of the Hills tend to kind of go on for this long. Most of my streams tend to be between 2 hours and 3 hours. Hopefully it's not been too long for some of you, but you guys can always hop out, hop back in. If you missed some of the earlier battles, don't worry, the whole thing will be uploaded. And if you are new to the channel, you've just tuned in now, this is a King of the Hill. It's a best of one winner stays on situation. And the King has been around since the very first round. A-Move here, just doing the Lizardmen proud and holding that crown high up inside the sky. So, it should be pretty damn cool to see if he can hold out his reign. If you like this type of content, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you want to support in any other way, I do actually have a Patreon account just down below in the description. Which, yeah, feel free, but also at the same time, no pressure at all. This map's not too bad. It's going to be a bit of a pain to commentate because of these hills in the logo, but I can zoom in and get some nice action shots. Looks like we have some high ground either side, so pushing through the trees and out the other side can be pretty dangerous. So I expect to see a big grind fight in the middle, but overall not too bad of a map and a little bit memey. But But, you know, nothing too bad. I've seen much worse maps. There's one horrible one, I'm not sure what it is. It's basically a hill, and one team starts on top of the hill, and one team starts on the bottom, and it is so unfair. And it was for a while on quick battles. I have no idea why they put it in place, but I managed to win on it a few times from the low ground, and actually can mess up the shooting from the high one. 237. You're here, Lucas. No worries, dude. You will be in the next round. So I've literally just swapped you guys around, okay? So after this game, you will be in. So we'll get you for the final map, man. Don't worry, you have not been forgotten. So, Protocol's army, the challenger here, coming in with a mixture of Gore herds and Ungore herds in the front line. Actually looks mainly like Gore herds. We have the Black One Ravagers in particular, who are going to be nasty. We have a couple of units of Centaurs. We have some Chaos Warhounds, 2 Warhounds with poison as well. And the Butchers of Kalkengard, who could be a pretty decent answer to Durfu and any of the nastiness if a move has gone for that kind of build. It looks like. So basically gone really cheap and cheerful wide with the infantry and mass cav and hounds. Just going to be trying to hunt down way watchers and those type of skirmish builds. We do have 2 Brave Shamans, one of Beasts coming in with the Manticore Summon, and one of Wild coming in with the Cygor Summon. So going for a bit of a summon build, which is nice to see. Lord-wise, I'm assuming we're going to have Morga the Shadowgave. We do have Morga, who's going to come in with those equally good summons of the Chaos Spawn. So a ton of summons, plus the Eye of Morslip, and we're going to have a very fast battle if the deployment does stay like this. So for the Wood Elf forces, looks like much more of a rush build. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of the Deepwood Scouts with Swift Shiver Shards, a unit I have been using an absolute ton recently and highly recommend them. They are very, very good. We have 1, 2, 3 units of Wild Riders as well. 4 units, in fact, one of them being the Regiment Renowned. So happy these guys got picked. I was saying earlier, these guys and the Regiment Renowned Temple Guard are my 2 favourite units thematically. I am very annoyed that they changed their colour scheme. They used to have like a nice brown shield, or was it like dark red shield? But the glowy staves are pretty cool now as well. In the background we have some War Dancers. Yes, I actually am a big fan favourite of these ladies. I think they can do pretty decent damage, but they are a little bit squishy in return. We have a Spell Singer of Life as well, coming in with Shield of Thorns, Earthblood, and a Power Stone. And up in the skies, we have a Glade Lord. Let's see if it is the Glade Lord or the Glade Lord lady. Glade Lady coming in with the net and arrows of course. The battle is underway straight away, and this will be an absolute mosh pit. Hounds launching on top of Deepwood Scouts, but Wild Riders instantly countering here. Should do a pretty decent job at hunting those guys down quickly. Looks like some Wild Riders took a bit of a beating on the other flank, however. Probably took a big old rock coming in from the mighty Eye of Morslip, and all these forces need to rush in now and shut down this ranged core of Amu's army, because they're going to be very, very powerful. I can see a Manticore summon coming down now. Actually, it could be a Cygor summon, which we do see. Getting those nice rocks in. But those Wild Riders doing huge work, shattering the right-hand flank of the Beastmen here. They need to get some of the Butchers over here to try and pin these guys in, as these guys are running riots right now. Charging headlong into the fray, butchering Gore herds and Centaurs as they go. And the Swift Shiver Shards have managed to pull back to a relatively safe position, although some Ungor Spearmen are managing to push for the gaps, and Cygors now need to get their big rocks going and do some throwing. Blade Lady does pop on, trying to help rescue this unit of Deepwood Scouts. Going to try to rout off the Centaurs and Hounds. Looks like it's worked on the Hounds so far. Wild Riders taking a bit of a hammer now, and these rocks are coming in. Looks like they're focusing down the Deepwood Scouts. I think it might be a better idea to focus down Wild Riders and then force with your infantry through, but the infantry have just been deleted by that epic charge from the Wild Riders coming in. British Kalkengard are being brought up from reserve now, and Wild Riders have pinned in this Cygor. He needs to be put into guard mode so he can still carry those rocks over. We have Chaos Spawn pushing their way into the back line. Nice use of the summon here. They're going to go down anyway. They are unbreakable as well. Push them into the back and shut those guys down. We also hear a Manticore summon come in, which is going to be really, really useful here. These summons definitely going to be keeping the Beastmen in the game as much as possible. Wild Riders have surrounded the leadership core, but they are going to be slowly dragged down by Morga the Shadowgate and so forth. Wild Riders popping on the back here into the Butchers. Are these the original round version? They are. These guys have the bonus versus the large. So they are anti-large, and we do decent work against the Butchers, helping out the Glade Lord, but they are taking a huge amount of damage in return, and most of the Wild Rider core has been pushed off now, and is taking an absolute hammer in the back line, so these Swift Shiver Shards are going to find it really difficult to get any protection, and we still have another Manticore summon which can be brought into play at some point. But of course, a lot of Winter Magic have already been used. Centaurs coming back into the main fight here. Looks like they're tackling some Wild Riders here, the Regiment Round version. And the Glade Lord has been caught here. Wild Riders desperately trying to come into her aid, but she's pinned in place by some very pesky Butchers of Kalkan Guard and also the Gore Herd. This I've also now thrown some shots in as well. Taliban's starting to go in favour of the Beastmen. Wild Riders are being pulled back to try and protect the Swift Shiver Shards. Manticore Summon is starting to disappear, but it's still got a little while left to live, and it is hopping on top of the Spellslinger of Life, who can't really escape very effectively. Looks like very good news for A-Move here. He has managed to get his Glade Lady back up into the air. She needs to start using some of her nets to pin these people in place, possibly the Feral Manticore. But the Chaos Summons stacked on top of the Butchers, who still have 8 models left. So these guys, now you've put so much investment in taking them down, they do regen, so you really want to get them off the field in one go. But it looks like they're going to escape a little bit. Wild Hunters of Colonels here, chasing off some Centaurs, and Glade Lady getting some really nice routing going over here. Spellslinger of Life has been saved as that Manticore does disappear into the ether. Swift Shiver Shards have still been protected a little bit, so they should be able to start sniping out Butchers of Kalkan Guard and Ive Morslip and so forth, but some of them have been caught over here in the distance. Wild Riders trying their best to protect, but it's so hard at this point. Feral Manticore has been summoned as well. They really need to use a net on him, but it looks like the net was used on the Brave Shaman instead. I'm expecting a big breath attack to come in here. Huge breath attack coming in, deleting that Brave Shaman, and down he goes. Looks like the Manticore is actually going after the Spellslinger of Life, who is terrified, so did not get that last minute heal off. Maybe would have been better actually going for the Glade Lord, because you can still do a ton of damage to her. She is not that tanky. We have some Deepwood Scouts trying to escape the best they can. They need to try and fall back wherever possible, escape the summons and wear the summons down. But it looks like the King have fallen for the most part. Balance power going heavily in favour of the Beastmen here. But it's not over yet. He needs to try and start sniping out some of these units, force them off, and wait for these summons to allow the Balance Pounds to get back even just a little bit more. Spellslinger of Life is routed, but should come back, hopefully, for the Wood Elves at least. And the Deepwood Scouts getting some really nice damage here onto the Butchers of Kalkan Guard, but this Glade Lord taking so much punishment. A load of the Beastmen forces are in the trees. It looks like the one unit has completely shattered now, but the Deepwood Scouts did fall before this unit of Spawn fell, and the King has fallen! Yeah, Lucas, don't worry, you're going to be in the next game, buddy. So, Protocol brings down A-Move, and the reign of A-Move is over. Abusing the balance power, nice. That is a great way of doing the summons, can really help push the power balance. GG. The King hath fallen. 1 game to go. Long liveth the King. So, let's get in our friend. And Raptor, what is the final map? Oh god, I'm spammed with messages. Okay, Keeper is fine. That's fine. I'm going to add you as a friend, dude. The Gallon's Graveyard for the map. Perfect. Thank you for letting me know. Let's just get added here. Oh, add a friend. Add the code. Boop. And Keykeeper has been added. So we'll change the scoreboard in a second. And we're doing Galleon's Graveyard. Hey! So, let's go down to G. Galleon's Graveyard. Where are you? Is it called like multiplayer Galleon's Graveyard or something? Where is this map? Like at the bottom or something weird? Is it the Galleon's Graveyard, perhaps? Yes, there we go. So there, no worries. Let's change the scoreboard. So a move got 7 wins, which is a pretty ridiculous streak, but he's been taken down by Protocol. Oh. And we have a new challenger, Keykeeper. So I'm just going to write down the 7 so I can remember that for later. And there goes the scoreboard. Cool. Looks like we're all good. Boop, well, let's pop back into the game. Awesome. And at Galleon's Grave that I don't think I've played on this map, so pretty excited to see how it goes. I'm literally responding to her. Who is... What's up, Julian? How's it going, man? There's finally lost the end is near, boys. No worries, Lucas. You weren't late. We put a game in between you because of the delay. But how's it going, Julian? Nice to see you. Don't think I've seen you around on my streams before. Hope you are enjoying yourself. So Protocol is going Vampire Counts. Oh, banning Vampire Counts and picking Beastmen. Looks like he does main Beastmen overall. And looks like Keykeeper may be going Chaos. Which will be a pretty fun map. And we'll see who goes out as king. Of course, a move will get the trophy for being the longest win streak of 7, which is pretty crazy. I don't know if that's the highest. I think we had Traore going 10, I think, before at one point. Or was it... was there 2 people who went 5 that stream? I can't remember. That was a while ago. But who will be the king at the end of the day? So it looks like we have Dark Elves versus Beastmen. A pretty cool matchup. Both of them have a lot of fast-moving units and a lot of hard-hitting units as well. Galleon's Graveyard, this looks like absolute death, which I absolutely love to see, Raptor. This is a Raptor OG map, I assume. If this is all water, that is horrifying. If this is all water with loads of impassable terrain, few trees, I would bring an all-skink build here if I was you. Hey, Simon, how's it going? This game looks cool. They should make a board game version of something. Nah, I don't think it'd pick up. I really don't. I don't think it would work, to be honest. There is no such thing. So we are on to the final game of the stream. It has been an absolute marathon, but it's been pretty damn good. And we will see how it goes. Let those guys sort out their matchups and build their armies. I'm going to have a little sip of water while I wait. Raptor, he's taking the mic, don't worry. Simon's a friend of mine. He's a really cool dude, and he plays competitive 40k. And we used to play fantasy back in the day. I'm trying to force him to get this game. He'd be really good at it as well. It's his type of game, strategy game and so on. But I haven't managed to do it yet, so keep yelling at him at the chat to try and force him on. It's all good. So, one game to close out the stream. Will Protocol's reign be pretty short? Or will he actually manage to go on as a kind of our eternal king for this week? I believe Chosen One was the champion last week, at least with the most amount of wins, managing to take down King of the Dead's reign. And I can't remember who actually won the stream overall at the end. Quite possibly could have been Zeus. He's very good at popping up late game and getting those little victories and going out as king. Or as god, in his case at least. Cool. This guy's just building their armies right now. I believe after this, Mr. Turin is streaming. So after my final game, if you want to go over to his stream and say hello from me, just quack in the chat or something and say that I say hello. And be all good and support other YouTubers. Although he's an incredibly big YouTuber, so I don't think he needs support too much. But it's still good to say hello. Let's see. Make sure these guys have no questions in the Discord. We do have pretty simple rules here, so I don't think there's going to be anything too bad. Well, I've been getting quite a lot of messages throughout. Nah, looks like we are all good. So if you guys want to take part in this type of event in the future, if you've been watching and you want to play, message me on Discord. My name is a Rubber Duck of War. I can add you to my own one, and that's where I announce all my tournaments and so forth. I give about 30 minutes advance to my Discord before I open it up to all the other ones, so it's well worth being in there if you want to carry on. So get this game good fun, and you get to destroy Duck, maybe even in his streams. Oh, destroy Duck! That is not possible. Looks like Protocol and Gatekeeper are both ready. Let's get into this final game of the stream. Come on, Simon. That's a pretty persuasive argument from Raptor there. You can't really deny that. Get to destroy me on the stream. And let's see this map. Yep, all of that is water. My god. This is a terrible map, Rapture. I absolutely love the fact you picked this. Very cool, though. We've got all the broken up boats in the distance. Is this Count Noctis's like home base? I assume it is. We have some lightning in the background, but it is frozen in time now as we're waiting for the players to load in. But pretty cool scenery overall, lots of broken ships and whatnot. But let's have a look at the current King's army. So we have a load of Gore herds in the front line, including the Black Horned Ravagers, so fairly similar to his previous build, actually, by the looks of it. Some Chaos Warhounds mixed in as well, but we have a bit more of a hardcore contingent here. We have 3 units of the Piggies, which are the Razor Gore herds. These guys actually have a surprising amount of armor piercing damage and can do decent work against big entities, and you know, they're fairly fast and good at swarming. We have the Butchers of Calgard, regiment around Minotaurs with regen, alongside some Minotaurs with shields, which I had some discussion recently, based off a video Darth Plays put up, and I think it's the general consensus now that the shielded version is actually better than the two-handed weapon version, even though they're kind of less often picked. So once again, he has gone for his very powerful leadership core here of the Law of Beasts, Law of Wild, and Shadowgave, coming in with those Manticores, coming in with the Cygors, and coming in with the Chaos Spawn Summons, which can be hugely powerful. As we saw last game, managed to take down a king, so they can be very deadly. Now for the Challenger and the Dark Elves, he has a front line flanked by Dreadspears, and in the front it is Black Ark Corsairs. Looks like these guys are chevron up. They should be able to tear through cheap and cheerful beastmen fairly effectively. We have the Black Guard of Nagrond with Sisters of Singing Doom, regiment around Witch Elves, who do some very horrible effects. They can rampage you with the Madness of Cain, learn your defense and speed, and you can no longer control your own forces, which is a nightmare to deal with. He has a Sorcerer of Beasts for some of his own summons, coming in with the Manticores and Flock of Doom. We have a big old black dragon in the sky here, not quite as cool as the forest looking, but still noxious breath and nice battle line presence. We have a High Beastmaster on top of a Manticore as well, so going for a little bit of an air build here. Probably going to be battling some Feral Manticores up in the sky. This guy does have Anti-Large and also Whiplash, which seems like a pretty cool ability. We also have some Cold One Knights in the back as well for that Anti-Large bonus. So let's see what these guys are saying. Just saying ready, good luck, and all that good sportsmanship stuff. I have to know my bad maps, and yes, knock this home. Nice, nice. So, just wait for the players and we will get going. Looks like we are getting another cheeky vanguard coming from the Beastmen. It is what they're known for. The rest of these forces, Razor Gores and Minotaurs can't actually vanguard, so I'm assuming they're going to be coming behind here, using the trees for a bit of cover in case there's any repeated bolt throws or so forth. But it looks like we're fine, and he's going to be funneling down through the trees here into the horrible water. So people take the mick out of skinks and their aquatic trait, but imagine you're playing in a tournament, you camp on this map, you get that little bonus for fighting in water, and it turns the game, so it is definitely possible. Looks like they've clicked in and are ready to go. And here we go, so the final battle is underway. The Dark Elves are starting to push up. Looks like we also have one Scourge Runner chat, be pretty good. But it's on the beta, so it has been nerfed a little bit, and it's kind of trudging through the water here rather slowly. And it's going to be interesting to see how the water affects the battlefield. It's probably going to make it a big old slugfest in the middle. Beastman army is kind of brought up into 2 different components here. The large force on the right, and the smaller one on the left. But there's a lot of Razor Gores here. I was thinking bring the dragon over here and just start crumping on these Ungors and so forth. But the Razor Gores can pin dragons in place. You have to be a little bit careful. But I don't know, Dragon plus a Manticore plus a Scourge Runner Chariots could do some really decent damage over here and delay the engagement against the rest of the Beastmen. But it looks like Minotaurs are a little bit aware of this. We're moving over to this hand of the battlefield. Cold One Knights, a little bit of a delayed charge up here, but they're going to be moving in. Looks like they're going to try to counter this large blob, but I feel like the Dark Elves here have a good chance of getting just run over by the sheer amount of AP of Minotaurs, Razor Gores, and Gore herds saturated on top. Dragon is coming over. Looks like he's going to be trying to get some free attacks. Is he going for a breath attack, or is he just floating around? In comes a big old nasty breath attack. down against the destroyers of Drakwold, just deleting that unit. Instantly looks like they're wavering. Are they going to break? No, looks like they do just about rally. But nice breath attack there, getting up to 65. Is that 65 kills? 65 kills already. But it is just against cheap and cheerful Ungors, and the Dark Elves need to be very careful here. There is a huge flank coming in on this right-hand side. If they can push forward and break this part of the Beastmen army before they arrive, that's all good and well. But they don't, they're going to end up surrounded. Squadron Chariots going to go in for a nice frontal charge on these Gore Herds, pushing them off and allowing the Black Ark Crusaders to get a nice and juicy charge here. Looks like Razor Gores hopping up to the left. Beastmen trying to play it slow. They'll be attacking from multiple positions by the looks of it. Taking down the beleaguered Dark Elves. But at the moment, Dark Elves quite happy just to run over the little bits of chaff that have been thrown at them so far. But no big hitters yet. No real value kind of been brought in. And the power balance is actually still in favour of the Beastmen. So it does seem to prefer their army. And we're yet to see any of the summons come down. I think a Cygor summon would do really good here. Taking down the Sisters of Sin and Doom from long range and so forth. There's a bit of a low dip here. He needs to get up on top of this high ground, so Obi-Wan would be proud, and then force these guys to come uphill through the water. But it looks like Cold Knights are going to get picked on by some Razor Gores. Nope, looks like he manages to spot it in time. Keykeeper here could be falling back towards the Black Guard of Nagrond, who again are another great target for Cygor summons. Dragons can come down and engage here. They'll be able to do some decent damage and tear out these guys quite quickly. There's no anti-large over here. It looks like he's going to be dragging them back to the main engagement. I would definitely pull these guys down here, delete this part of the battlefield, and then come over here. He's been a bit static at the moment, but he's trying to form a little bit of a dowie geometry, get his little box formation on, and protect his guys where he can. But the summon has come in, a big old rock being Kobe'd over in. Black Ark Crusaders taking some serious damage from that Cygor, who, he'll be around for a little while. The summons have been nerfed slightly, but they do stand around for a little bit. And let's see where he's going for. So throws a rock in all the way down the battlefield, and misses completely. Dread Spears are kind of threatening to be swarmed here. Bring these dragons down on this right-hand flank and just destroy this force. There's nothing here which can connect against the dragons. And then bring them back to the main fight to fight the Minotaurs later on. There's no need to just sit there floating. We've got a massive downhill charge come down on this left-hand flank. Razor Herds will run over Black Ark Crusaders fairly effectively. There's not too many anti-large on this left flank with the Black Guard down over here. Razor Gores coming in and just going to start beating down these little piggies with their little hound friends and do some decent work. But nice counter charge coming in by the Cold One Knights, and we do have a big extended, what is that coming down? Flock of Doom, it looks like, on the Beastmen. Dragons, looks like they're struggling to find a home. They're not committing to either flank. They are now starting to swarm over here and try and save the Dread Spears, but they're a little too late. Needs to be a bit earlier there. And now there's this huge call that is upon him, so the dragons are probably going to get pinned in. Chaos Spawn have been summoned. And Manticore as well, popping down on top of the Sorcerer Beast, and will munch on her quite quickly here. Looks like the left-hand engagement was won by the Dark Elves, and they have summoned a Manticore of their own. Probably going to have to be used to protect the Sorcerer of Beasts now. Down on the right-hand side, Dragons doing a decent job still. Chaos Spawn have saturated on top. Squadron of Chariots being pinned in place, and these guys are easily going to get slapped around and broken. The Dragons do have a chance, or one Dragon and one Manticore, to get back up into the sky, float away from this engagement, and just leave the Chaos Spawn to disappear. They are summons, they will not last all game. Black Guard of Nagrond standing strong with a Feral Manticore summon as well, trying to take out this leadership core. Not a bad idea. It does lower the amount of summons they will be able to bring in, but they're incredibly tanky at the same time. Power balance now slightly in favour of the Beastmen. Over in this initial engagement, which went very well for the Dark Elves, they're starting to get a bit beleaguered. Black Ark Crusaders being pulled down by Butcher the Calgon, living up to their name and tearing apart. You see blood going everywhere as they hit friend and foe alike, but they won't mind destroying these guys as quickly as possible. Feral Manticore in the distance is just being wasted. It looks like it was chasing off someone, but it is going to disappear into the sunset very shortly. Beastmaster needs to get down as well and start doing his anti-large damage to Minotaurs where he can. And this is the key engagement now. Do we have any big breath attacks coming in? One huge one going directly down. Looks like he's trying to snipe out Morga the Shadowgate, but he is ridiculously tanky. As you can see, he gets flung down the hill there. Probably would have been best to do it on one of these Brave Shamans and trying to delete them off the battlefield straight away. Beastmen now coming back very strong on his flank. A lot of their units did rally, and as the Dark Elves pulled resources over to his right-hand side, they've now lost this side, been completely surrounded, and the Beastmen are definitely going to grind this out now. In my opinion, I've been wrong multiple times before. If he can snipe out Morgoth the Shadowgate here, he's down to 1,400 health. He may be able to tear out a lot of this army. And see another Cygor has been summoned, so he has used both his summons there, and they will eventually disappear off the battlefield. High Beastmaster, can he do it on this horrible, disgusting looking Manticore? They're getting a little slap in Morga's face, who is starting to break here, and is routing down to 167 health. Flung down once again, 8 health, and down he goes. So now, get the Black Dragon back up in the sky, get the Manticore back up in the sky, wait for the summons to disappear, and the Blackguard may have to be sacrificed in order to do this, and then come in here and terror out as many forces as possible. There's definitely a way back in the game for the Beastmen, but another summon coming down, assuming that this one a Manticore. Yeah, another Manticore coming in as well, trying to push the power balance over in his favour and rout this Dark Elf army, which is a decent way of playing. A lot of people don't like that way, obviously, with like the mass kind of summon abuse and whatnot, but it's a legit way of playing and can work very effectively. It looks like that Manticore is being hunted down by a Black Dragon, trying to help the Blackguard of Nagron hold the line, who are completely surrounded here, fighting back to back, surrounded by horrifying monsters, beastmen, hounds, like poison saliva dripping at the teeth, and they've held for so long here, getting a decent number of kills in that match. But unfortunately, it looks like the Dark Elves are just slowly getting pulled apart here. Lots of tear-outs are going on, forcing these Beastmen away. But I don't think it's going to be enough. The power balance is just so against them. But Minotaurs fleeing, Hounds fleeing. This could be the turning point as the Dragon comes swarming in here, trying to delete that Feral Manticore. We do have the High Beastmaster to get up, back down again, and constantly cycle charge. Cold One Knights pinning in place the Butchers of Calvangard and allowing him to escape. This Black Dragon is going to be incredibly tough to deal with. So many Beastmen are rallying over here, but the Dragon can pop over here and just tear out these guys again and again. Beastmaster did get up and survive. Looks like this Feral Manticore is going down as well, and is running for the hills. The Brave Shaman of Wild is also fleeing. Chase that guy off with the High Beastmaster and don't allow him to come back. The Dark Elves doing a fantastic job here of trying to mount a heroic comeback. And look how many of the Beast menus are starting to run for the hills. Looks like some Hounds are gone. Razorgors do rally, but does the bigger units rally as well? Still 10 models. They got a decent amount of damage output left, but the Black Dragon will probably round them if they get a little bit too close. Dragon still looking healthy on about half health here. We have the Blackguard as well, fighting to the death here, down to just 22 models, but rallying to the Black Dragon, trying to protect him as much as possible. But Black Ark Corsairs and Sisters of Singing Doom do start to run off the field. Butchers of Calvangard rampaging now and chasing them around. High Beastmaster looks like he's just trying to get here and rout off some units where he can. Otherwise, he's just hiding behind this little rock here. Not sure 100% what he's doing there, being a bit of an odd fellow. Black Dragon is going to be an absolute beast, though. If they can constantly cause these tear-outs, Beastmen, of course, not great leadership. Balance of power swung back to even. I think we may have a new king, with Kiki become the ultimate comeback here. Minotaurs have been shattered off the field now. Really, the only big players left are the Butchers of Calvangard. If he can rout this unit, there is nothing on the battlefield left which can take down the Black Dragon. Foyle's in charge of the High Beastmaster isolated there, which would be a terrible idea. Looks like he has decided against that. Much better idea here. Take off the Brave Shaman, rout off all of the units, force them off the battlefield, force that balance of power in your favour as much as possible. That helps with the leadership, and those Butchers will break that little bit quicker. This is a very close indeed, Raptor, but I think the Dark Elves have it with all these routes coming in. Brave Shaman is not going to escape, and in fact completely shatters there, or is eaten by the Dragon. Looks like eaten, unfortunately. He is going to have to land, unfortunately, and stand and fight, but chuck both units into the Butchers of Calvangard, and you should be good. I don't think the rest of these units are going to come back and fight. Blackhorn Ravagers, though, don't count them out, so they do have perfect vigour, fighting out their maximum capacity the entire game. But it looks like the Butchers, did they just completely shatter once being touched? No, they are still fighting. Okay, their flag was hidden behind the Dragon there. They are wavering down to 4 leadership. And I think that's going to be game. As soon as those guys are gone, what are Gorehurts realistically going to do to a mighty Black Dragon? He has Whiplash popped on him at the moment as well, making him even more deadly. But the Butchers are starting to rally, and if they can assassinate the High Beastmaster here, then they could get back into the game. Beastmaster, though, really cool animation, pushing his way through and getting himself towards the Black Dragon. Razorgors do rally for one last charge, but instantly shatter once touching the Dragon. High Beastmaster, though, going down, 170 health left, and he is routing. Will the Black Dragon remain now that his tamer has gone? Beastmaster does go down. Black Dragon up to a silver chevron here, carrying this game on his back as much as possible. Butchers Calvangard are starting to waver, though. He needs to finish them off, and everything else will run. Oh, this is disgustingly close. Everything on the rest of the battlefield, it looks like, has shattered. A few beastmen returning here. Black Dragon trying his best. So the butchers are regenerating this entire time. That's why you need to focus them down and kill models rather than health. The Black Dragon, if it stays in fight, wins this, but it is running for the hills. It is routing, and that is a win for the king. That should have been a comeback. He needed to keep the Manticore out of harm's way there when it started getting wounded. Just leave it up in the sky, let the Black Dragon kill. But with that leadership penalty it took, it is just a feral beast. It ran for the hills. 203 kills though, not bad at all. So that is going to be a GG all round for those guys. That's up protocol for 2 there. So he did get 2 wins in the end. Did his best and overthrew a move hacker. So a massive shout out to everyone who played today, and a special shout out to Protocol, who ends the stream as king. He can hold his head high with a crown lofted on top. And also a massive shout out to A Move Hacker for winning 7 games in a row, all with Lizardmen, and that is what I love to see. And he obviously wins the biggest win streak. So let's give a massive congrats to Protocol. I'm surprised Dragon broke, but it happens. Yeah, the Dragon had that fight, that power balance just would not go. Looking forward to commentary. Cool. So this will all be uploaded afterwards, of course, as always. But a massive thank you for you guys for tuning in. Hope you had a good time. If you did, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing and all that good stuff. And of course, this will be uploaded and will come back around. So if you want to get involved in more King of the Hills tournaments and whatnot, add me on Discord at a Rubber Duck of War. So until next time, guys, peace, and stay awesome.